Welcome along. I can put the camera on now. Welcome. Hi guys, how is all doing? Hi and welcome. I'll put it in this. Tonight's show is myself and I Am Magic, and we're going to get deep. And without further ado, here's I Am Magic. No intro music tonight because we don't need it. We are the intro. Dum, dum, dum. Oh,
here I am.
Here I am. So I want to say big shout out to NR28 or two. I can never read shit, man. NR28 2482. So hello NR. We call you Energy. And welcome along, everyone. This is I Am Magic. We had a stream, I think it was about a week and a half ago, and we went a little bit deep, and we were talking about all sorts of stuff. But not to bore you loads of sentences, and you can go and watch that show again. There you go. There's your name. See, it's on the screen now. You can all see it. That's how you say it. It's NR2482. God bless you and welcome. We are live all across the world on DLive, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and other, which is great to be. But tonight's show is kind of there isn't a select subject we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about several subjects, but we're going to try to get a little bit deep. We're going to try to get the people in the chat as well involved as well, if you want to. But to start off the show, do you want to do it? Tell everyone who you are, sweetheart, where you live, what time it is there. It is because it's a big time difference, isn't there? Go.
Yes, there is. I'm 6 hours behind you. It's 3:12 here in Oklahoma, USA.
Nice.
And I'm Magic, and I'm here to talk system failure.
And it's great to have you here, sweetheart. It really is, because I love conversations, because we just had a little conversation just before this, guys, and our conversations go anywhere. And you know what? It was quite funny. And so you're definitely in for a bit of a laugh anyway, no matter what happens, you know. You did say something interesting that struck me at the beginning when we spoke earlier on about an incident, a UFO incident, and your connection to a UFO incident. We can get into that a little bit if you wish, in a minute. But can I ask you one or two questions just so we can? So what led you to where you are now to this in a shortened down version? What made you come online and talk to people about your experiences? If you can bring it down to, you know, an hour and a half show. We've got an hour and a half show, right? So go ahead.
Spirit told me to.
Okay.
I didn't want to, but Spirit told me to. I've always been a very private person, and so this has been pretty interesting for me. But you're the one who got me going. You invited me to come talk to you a couple of years ago.
I did indeed.
And I was in a completely different place. My whole world has changed since then. But you were the one that invited me to come talk to you, and I realized it wouldn't kill me.
Well, I appreciate it, and thank you. Well, I'm so happy that you actually did come on and talk, and I remember them shows fondly. They were a lot of fun. That was great. That was creating ourselves all in one little bubble. It was great. And unfortunately, System Failure 1 and System Failure 2 are gone now, so you probably can't see them shows. But they are out there in the ether somewhere.
Yes, they are.
Out there in the ether, you know. I'm sure someone remembers them as fondly as we do. So, thank you. I'm humbled by that. So that's what made you come out and talk about the spiritual experiences, right? And were you watching stuff for a long time before as well? Were you in chats and stuff? Because you were in chats for a long time. I met you in chats, if you were.
Yeah.
Well, hadn't I? Loads of other places we all seem to congregate in other truthers channels all across the board, you know.
Yeah.
And then
I saw you talking about the Mandela effect, and I had been following it, and I was a little bit of a disadvantage because I'm just not a television person, so I didn't know the different things, the commercials, and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
But I believed everybody, and there were a couple of them Yeah, I thought, wow, yeah. But then I had a couple of personal Mandela effects.
Yeah, yeah, that's
And
really
one of them is about my dad and this Bible again. He died in 1971 at 51 years of age. And my sister had found the family Bible just a couple of years ago and brought it in. And we both knew how old he was when he died and all that kind of stuff. Well, it ended up that that's not when he died. And everybody thought that he was 51 when he died, but he was born a year earlier. It was written in his own handwriting in the Bible. I had seen it. I had
yeah.
seen it. It said he was born in 1921, but I had seen it earlier and it was 1920.
Mm.
So I thought that was interesting. And then there was an apartment complex up the street. Oh, and it was my sister and I that both discovered it. And then my sister and I both used to take people home when they were walking down the street with their groceries and stuff. We'd give them a ride home. And there was this one street where we went several times, and an apartment complex there turned into a school that had been built in the 1940s.
Okay.
It was sitting there. It was visible from my house.
Yeah.
And I thought there had been a school strike going on. And I thought, wow, I bet the people in that apartment complex will be glad when school starts back up because all those kids playing out there. And it ended up that they were playing out there because it was the school and the strike was over.
Wow. Okay.
So those are the two that really grabbed me.
Yeah, yeah. The personal ones can get you so hard, you know, that it makes it kind of pulls you back to reality in a way. You can kind of struggle the ones off because they're in the media, as you say. If you don't have a TV, you don't see them, they're not coming quick and fast. But when they're right in front of you in your own back garden, as you say, it's like, hello, there's something going on here, and that then entails a whole roller coaster of all sorts of emotions and all sorts of stuff. And yeah, having a strong will to hold on to your own sanity through all that in a way is a gift. You know that
Yes.
we shouldn't shrug off because it is a gift. You know, some people I ended up in fucking many a mental institute because of that fucking madness. You know, but I got there, and I know other people, and God bless them, and that kind of got me to do this because being through so many places, I didn't want any other one. I was kind of shocking to see other people's reaction to these, and I was frightened that these ones are coming quick and fast that they might have the same kind of reaction or work than I had. Kind of like when you were speaking about when you had your first time in rehab, you know what I'm saying, and then you realized that you wanted to help people to stop them from going to that situation. I had a moment of realization when I had a few Mandela effects that were personal to me like that, and I took them so deep that I end up fucking losing my shit, you know.
Yeah.
And because I researched them, and it was like, oh, how did I not notice? And then you start to think, you doubt your own sanity, your own reality. If they can change it like that, well, what else can you change my own part? Can you change everything about me that I don't even know what I am anymore? Is that what it's all about? And yeah, they can be shocking. They can be shocking, absolutely. By the way, hi Tom Tom. Hello, got Tom Tom. How is that? How are you? You're on Twitch. How are
Hi,
you?
Tom Tom.
How are you doing? It's been a long time. I've always wanted to sort of get all the old family back in one area, you know, like where we used to have them shows where we, you know, have like 4 or 5 people on at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning talking about, I don't know, I'll talk about and end up talking about zebras, you know, at the end.
Yeah.
E-Top would come to mind, something like that, you know.
Our tea party.
Yeah. The Mad Hatter's tea parties we used to have. You know, the Mad Hatter, the Mad Hatter might have to come back because I am actually going to be changing my name to System Failure 3 and System Failure 4. I think I'm going to go with the Mad Hatter. That's what I think I'm going to do.
Nice. I like it.
I'm going to write that down, by the way, just because with the music stuff, I'd like to be known as System Failure because it's always been my brand in a way. So I'm thinking about changing my YouTube channels over to something, and I think that is the what I'm going to do with the Mad Hatter. The Mad Hatter. And then we can go really crazy because I'll be honest with you, I don't care about what I say when I say it on YouTube. Anyway, so the Mad Hatter is back. Hey!
Yay! Yay! The Mad Hatter's back.
There we go. The Mad Hatter is back. The Mad Hatter. Oh. So that means I have to get a hat. I have a few hats there now. A few Mad Hats. I could go around wearing this one. You know, the alien.
That's a good hat. That's a good hat. You might need to put some Velcro on your head, though.
I have the costume where it looks like I'm being carried around. I wore it for Halloween. Did you see that costume?
I missed it.
I'm in a costume like that where it looks. It's just an inflatable costume. It's massive, and it looks like that I'm being carried around by one of them. You know, that could be.
I'll have to go find
it. I will come onto a show one day dressed as him, you know, I'm sure.
Cool.
You never know. That'll be that's in the Mad Hatter realm, you know.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you. You brought me down that little driveway or pathway of thought to get to my name that I was actually thinking of what to name to. So the Mad Hatter, thank you, God bless you. You reminded me of that. And right on 11:11. Wow! Wow, just watch, we've only been 11 minutes, 11 seconds, and I just, there you go. Whatever's talking to me is talking to me in double.
Synchronicity, baby.
Yes, stereo. We're getting stereo. We're getting surround sound now. We're getting tones of angel. We can smell. We can smell feathers. We can smell. We can smell gold. We can smell. You know, them people who do these things about wine, and we're getting tones of that's who I'm doing. Oh yes, and he definitely heavenly tones. We're getting heavenly tones. And he's been obviously Old Spice because it was a male one. All angels wear Old Spice and Lynx body spray. That's definitely an angel. So God bless you for that divine inspiration.
Do angels need deodorant?
What? Yeah, definitely an angel. Definitely, there's that. It's the Lynx Africa. It's the essence of angels. Lynx Africa. I wear it myself. So there you go. I was, you know, there was something I was studying the other day that I picked up a book. What was it? The book actually. If I put my eyes on, I'll be able to remember it. You know how far I got to it. I think it's in my bag. Oh, it wasn't. It was kind of Aztecs and Mayan stuff. It was kind of all that kind of. I was actually looking at Woodface again. I was looking at these statues, the way they pop up in history and then disappear through history and come up in flood somewhere, or there's a landfall or a mudslide, and then you see a statue underneath that's been buried for thousands and thousands of years. And then it's a deity from wherever. In the front of a paper, this is what led me to it. In front of a local paper, there was a Bible. Did I mention this? There was a Bible this size, made of gold, found in a farmer's field, right? And it seems to be it's just a picture. Like I looked at the picture, it doesn't really represent much. I suppose it's just like a shepherd or something like that. But it's really, really small, like small pendant. But it was made for one of the kings, whatever. Obviously discarded and left in the field. And someone thought it was they were using a metal detector and they picked it up and they thought it was something else. But that thought to myself then, oh yeah, the other stuff that was, you know, buried underneath, that you don't get it with this kind of, you know, the small little, that you see statues of gods that we don't know anymore about, and there's nothing written about, and then you find them that they're in the likes of the Aztecs and the Mayans kind of stuff, because they're in all them calendars. They fucking loads of pictures of all sorts of deities and this, that, and other, and they're not mentioned for centuries and centuries until these things, you know. And then you go back, then they're in the hieroglyphics and all that shit, and they're all twisted into all this mythology. And then here's another. Here's how twisted stuff can get. Hercules is Samson. Yeah, do you believe that Hercules was Samson? Same guy.
I don't know.
Same guy. Two different legends. You know
Do you
what? You
think
know,
it's the same guy? You
I
think it's
think
the same guy?
I think it's the same guy talked maybe in 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 a way that they looked at him and he was possessed by the power of, if you know what I mean.
Okay, yeah.
Even if it wasn't the same time, Hercules and Samson seem to be connected via the strength of Zeus, or you know, the strength of whatever their Zeus was, and so it seems to be connected. Even though the times are changed, but it could be just a similarity, which is invoking the power of whatever, which they used to do in them times and whatever.
Yeah. The great
So
size and
do you see the
strength.
way? Yeah, do you see the way them two kind of cross over in our own little Bibles that we have? But then we have the different kind of other religion, or the Aztecs. I'm just looking at the Aztecs in the mind of all them different kind of stories that they had. You see, there's crossovers of statues they had and stuff like that from Egyptian times that go to them and then get lost and then come back and whatever. There's one in the Egyptian symbols. He's now got the head of a beetle. A dung looks like a dung beetle. He popped up, and then I started researching deities again and all these different gods. I never saw one of the guys on the hieroglyphics with the head of a beetle. That was that. Hello, boy, Nicky. A beetle,
Yeah.
like the head of a beetle. So I start following that beetle gods and shit like that. Anyway, going back on the story, I was researching Codeface. It looks like he's a digitally faced deity that was around in Mayan times, and then he disappeared while his civilization disappeared as well, like the Mayans and the Incas and all that kind of people, you know.
Right.
So that's kind of when you start researching that, you start losing your mind because then you're like, I just want to watch a futuristic movie. I want to see what it looks like in the future about 20,000 and forget it all. But it never goes away. Never goes away. Hello, by the way, we have Voynich in the house. We've got loads of people
Hi, Voynich.
on Twitch. I have a fan base on Twitch. Oh, hello.
Nice.
So since the last time I spoke to you, has any moment stuck out for you in the last week and a half that's happened to you? And you went, oh, you know, like we had the 1-1-1 moment there a minute ago. The 2-1. Have you stood back at any moment in the last few days after we went and looked at the clock and went, felt something?
Oh, I do that every day.
Every day, it's an every day.
Yeah, the repeating numbers and all that. On 11/11, it was really. Did you feel an energy change? An energy shift, just like everything just shifted a little bit? Did you
Um,
feel it?
I did. I felt. You know what? Here's a funny coincidence. I had a feeling today that I walked into a different reality. It's probably because I'm thinking about always walking into other realities all the time. But I had a feeling that something changed, and I walked through a hot spot. Now, have you ever walked through a hot spot before?
Yes.
So it's fucking freezing out. A spot. It must have been for about 10 foot, and I felt there was a fan of hot air on me, and I was outside, and it was coming from every direction. I thought, well, that feels like the Barbados, you know, like a warm summer's fucking day. And then I kind of looked up and kept on walking. It got cold again. I said, there's no fans around, so it can't be coming air from, you know, a building, you know. And I never thought, and then I started thinking about did I just walk into another reality for a second? So yeah, I've had them.
Yeah.
Not as real as today's one, I don't know, but yeah. So 1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1.
Yeah, transformation. Transformation is one. Oh, I used to be Magic Sister, but I am Magic. But I am Magic Special too.
I am Magic and Magic. She's definitely Magic. So Magic. Yeah, you would remember as Magic Magic Sister because you only changed your name. How long ago was that?
Pardon me?
How long ago did you change your name to I Am Magic?
Not all that long ago, maybe 6 or 7 months.
And just to give us the quick reason, I know the reason why you changed it, but go on, give me
my life changed.
That's right.
Everything about my life changed, and so I decided to change my username too.
Nice. I'm just about to do that as well myself, but we just came up with my new name is what is it again? The Mad Hatter. The Mad Hatter, by the way. The Mad Hatter is going to be coming back. It'll be the Mad Hatter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Although we have to see how many to get me as well again.
I've been wanting a tea party. I'm looking forward to it.
I make a ground cup of tea. I do make a ground cup of tea, but I need a bag of sugar. I need a bag of sugar every time I have a cup of tea.
Yeah, I mostly like just being full of shit. So
well, so we're all full of shit, but it's a special type of shit. And you know what? Shit's good for. Shit is good for maturing stuff, for maturing and growing stuff in. So we're all full of our own
Wonderland shit.
Man, if we could bottle that shit and sell it on the internet and make millions.
Everybody have a good time all the time.
Exactly. With this bottle of shit. Just put it in a fucking sparkly fucking glass jar and people will buy it anyway.
Man, I have fun shit, weird shit.
Weird shit,
yeah. UFO shit, Mandela shit.
Yeah. Exactly.
Jars.
Exactly. You could do, you could definitely sell out the Mandela effect shit, you could just say it was something else when I shit it out, now it's turned into this, turned in front of my own eyes and shit like that,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's like magic.
Absolutely.
Everything's magic.
I'd love to start off a Mandela Effect conference, like where we could all bring stuff that we all have, and we all have possessions that of our own that we have a little story behind. Like you have the Bible there, and I'm sure there's other artifacts you have around your house as well. They have a connection with it. It's either changed or means something to you in a spiritual way, and it all leads down the Mandela Effect path. I'd love to do something like that, and I'd love to do it sort of internationally, where it's like a panel of people online sitting on a chair on a big screen behind us while other people are talking on a panel where people are showing off residue and memories that are connected to the residue.
Effect? Yeah. Have you seen the Mandela Effect conference that they do, the International Mandela?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Jerry and all them, and Cynthia Sue and Chris and all them. Yeah, I was connected with them. So when my other profiles, the other profiles on Facebook, 4 of them got knocked out. I was, in loads of groups, and we were, I was commenting. We were commenting, having conversations on Facebook for ages on with them. But then when I got all these other profiles gotten out, I wasn't in the same groups as them and all that kind of stuff. But I still good friends with Jerry, and he keeps me up to date with what they're going on. But they get deep. They get really deep, and I like them. I don't think I'd love to be asked to go on and ask my conversation about it, but I don't think I'd have the stability to be able to stay on track, if you know what I mean. I'd be like, you'd need a red button just beside me, just in case. Just, give me 5 second delay. He might just say something to just be ready to just cut him off there, just in case. So maybe that's what it is. Or maybe the tone at the end, but they do get deep, and they get deep into different angles that we don't get deep on in enough, I think, in a way, because we get sidetracked with UFOs and other weird shit. I get sidetracked with music all the time, but I do follow them. I do follow them. International IMEC.
Right. Yeah, I followed Shane Robinson on Unbiased.
Shane UFO. Shane UFO, yeah.
No, actually, Shane Robinson. His channel is Unbiased and On the Fence.
Oh, Unbiased, yes. Unbiased. Yes.
Yeah, he's in IMEC too, and I've been following him for a long time. He's great. Great.
Yeah. There's some really good people, really cool people on that. Really good people. I like the Quantum Businessman when he came out and done that video. That was he dived in head first into the Mandela Effect community with that video, and I thought it was amazing the way he done it, and he was so articulated and all that. So fair play.
Oh
and pure fucking presenter and presented it fucking well enough that it got seen all over the place. It was amazing. Well done. That way, the way he analysed that, and I thought, someone actually is out there doing that stuff. We're just talking about the effects and doing this, and there are people like the Mandela Effect, the conference people that go deep and start digging. Like Jerry debunked. What was it? cup of noodles or one of them by researching it so much that he found a loophole that there was a logo change back in the day that just hidden underneath something or whatever. That's how deep they go. But that
Wow.
just to show you that people are out there doing that, you know.
Yeah.
And
yeah, because I'm not.
No, I'm not. You know, I'm going around taking photographs of fucking, not taking photographs of residue left, right, and centre. You know, and that's all I'm doing. You know, and on a good day, I'll go look for something and something to remind me. And every time I see a Ford or a Volkswagen, I'm reminded of, or every time I see a flag, I'm reminded of fucking, you know, every time I see everything, I'm reminded of the Mandela effect. So, you know, it's full on all the time, but I'm still going looking around for UFOs. And, so we're multitasking all the time, you know. It's like riding the bike. It's like I'm walking around riding the Mandela effect bike. It doesn't look like it, but it's all systems go all the time.
Yeah.
I don't have a chance to sit down and go, here, this is one, and go do the researching down to a level where I don't think I'd have the mind for it. So fair play to them. Fair play to them, you know.
Well, you just have to be so observant, and I don't know, when I'm out and about, I'm more interested in people.
Yes.
So I really don't notice all the stuff you notice. I love
Well,
all the stuff
it's
you
not
find.
that I don't. I don't. I think my mind's always switched on to residue. My mind's always switched on to the Mandela effect. And then my mind is also, because the connection I have with Mandela effect and UFOs is alternative realities and stuff like that, and technology that we're not too sure about and whatever, and then the supernatural goes in. So they all connect to each other. So I'm always aware of both subjects and different subjects. So when I see a Mandela effect video, I'll get an immediate reason why I think it's it, and then go past it because I'm a fucking conspiracy theorist, and I forget the essence of why I think the English flag is changed, for instance. I see that a lot, or I always get different versions of why the Volkswagen has changed in my mind because I see that logo every day, and I love that storyboard in my own head. I'd see it one day and think it's because Hitler won or whatever, and then I'll go down and that goes on for about half an hour in my head, and I play that out in my own mind. He's gone to the moon, all this shit. And then another time I see it, I'll think of some other thing about them pulling us apart and putting a symbol in between, all that sort of, and they'll go off another brain trying to till I get onto a bus or something like that. So them kind of stuff it's good for the brain. It's like brain training in a way, And then I go into, why did I see that when I saw that? Because I'm the only person that saw that when I saw that, because I had to walk past here to see that right now. Why did I see that right now? What's that going to lead to? And then I'm starting to go on with this, and it's a journey. Imagine having to go to work and doing that as well. That'd be crazy.
That's the way my mind works with spirit.
Okay.
All the time, everywhere I look, everything. It's like everything. It seems like there's signs everywhere.
Yes. If there are signs, you're looking for signs everywhere. And then in between looking and not looking is when you see them, because when you look too hard to see through them, and then your mind just about to wander off and you see them and you go, oh shit, where's the signs? And you're kind of in between. And I'm not saying that this helps me see anything. Yeah, there's a fine line between genius and insanity. And I think that's where we see shit. And I used to say I snorted that line, but I don't think I'll be able to snort a line of anything nowadays. I'm too old for it to collapse. But I used to say that I used to snort, I'd be able to see everything. But we do have moments of insanity and sanity during our daily life that we just take on board as that happened to, But yeah, it's weird. Every day is a spiritual awakening in a way.
Yes.
In a way.
Yes.
Whether we see it, whether we see it or not is a thing, and whether we observe it or not. Do you find yourself in situations where yourself out of your body and look at yourself talking to someone else, so you can observe yourself, your own sort of body language towards what you're doing? Do you do that a lot?
Yeah. It started out as hindsight, looking back. Okay. And then I started doing it. Actually, it was interacting with clients and doing groups in front of 100 people or whatever, and things like that, and pulling myself back and trying to take a look. But the more I did that, the more I made myself crazy, and I wasn't acting like myself.
Yeah, I get you. I got you. You were in the person who you were then, rather than thinking it. Yeah.
Right. I was trying to be who I thought I was supposed to be instead of who I was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. I
had a thing in my mind, I'm supposed to be all professional and all this kind of stuff. And then I went and stood up in front of everybody, and one of the first words I said was "fuck." So it was, kind of went from there. But yeah, I have done that quite a bit, and actually did it recently, talking to a little woman who lives not too far away from me.
Oh yeah.
Who always wants to talk doom and gloom. And
always wants to talk doom and gloom.
Yeah, she wants to tell me about all the terrible shit they said on the news, and I say I don't watch the news because I don't want to know about the terrible shit. And so she starts to tell me about it all, and I said I don't want to know about the terrible shit. And then I walked away. And then she told everybody I was a bitch.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah, I'm a bitch. I'm a bitch. I'm okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I'll be a bitch if she wants me to be a bitch.
That's lovely. That's lovely.
When I've talked to somebody several times, and this is all a part of me learning how to set boundaries.
Oh yes.
Because I have a tendency to be a little over giving, and it's a lesson that I'm having to learn because a lot of people take advantage of me. And it's something I'm having to learn.
I get you. They mistake your kindness for weakness.
Right. Yeah. Right. And actually stupidity. And I think that's a combination. Yeah, I think that's a combination of being kind and spiritual. People think you're stupid. I got news for them. I'm not. But anyway, part of setting boundaries is taking a look at how I interact with people. And I felt a little bad about that afterwards for a little while. But then I thought, I told her on 5 different occasions, I don't want my day to turn negative. I don't want that to happen right now. And I'm not going to sit here and talk to you if you're going to keep going negative. And she kept going negative. And so I said I was serious, and I walked away. Yeah. And so I felt kind of bad about it for a little while. And I think I when I set my boundaries, I need to stop feeling bad about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean because I feel bad of every person I say no to.
Yeah.
And even the decisions that lead, every decision you feel bad about because you know you're back and forth with your own spiritual shit there. So yeah, of course, and people, I wouldn't say prey on that. People can see it sometimes, and people, it's a total mindfuck. I understand.
Well, and I have a little. I'm an energy reader, and so when people come to me filled with that negative energy, I feel it.
It's kind of you kind of empathic in a way. Empathic when they're sitting there talking.
I am an empath.
And you find a lot of people do that to you. In certain times of the year, you have more of your friends coming back from the woodwork and asking you certain things that I need a bit of advice in a way that I call it e-begging. I call it e-begging. But
during Mercury retrograde.
Yeah.
It seems like every time there's a Mercury retrograde, people start coming back from the past.
Yes, there's
and wanting to talk about things.
Oh yeah, and wanting to get I know, and there was I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was about a 2-week span. I was going every day. There was at least 2 people that all they had was negative energy. All they were talking about was negative energy. Now I know I talk about myself a lot, and every now and again I had to step back at myself. That's kind of observe myself going here. No, you stop talking about yourself. Just twist around, let them talk about themselves. But these people just were full on, and it was all leading up to, whatever. And I don't know what they wanted. Got to the stage where you give them what they want, and then they're just still going on, and you're trying to give them whatever. But it was gone nearly 2 weeks, and I had to let myself away for a day or two to get away from it. You do. You feel it. You feel it. You do.
Yeah, that's it. And I had to start learning. Captain Andrews.
Captain Andrews, hello. Welcome along, Captain Andrews. Welcome aboard.
Okay, what was I talking about? I got distracted by Captain Andrews.
what we're talking about, that makes me think about Captain Morgan's, isn't that?
Oh, the energy
Yes.
that you feel.
Yes.
Yeah,
Empathic.
respect that.
Empathic.
Respect what you feel, and
Yeah.
respect it as soon as you feel it, and your whole life will change.
Absolutely.
Because one thing I found out is the more respect I have for myself and the way that I feel about me and what's going on around me, the better my world is.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
self-respect, and we're not raised to have self-respect. We're raised to respect everybody else. If we respect ourselves first, everything else comes naturally. We understand what it means to
Yeah.
respect someone, to honor someone, but we're not raised that way. We don't honor ourselves. How can we honor someone else? Right?
True. True.
And it's those feelings that uh, I learned a long time ago that most people don't feel it until it's been there quite a while. And so I started paying really close attention to it. And I can, if I'm in the physical presence of somebody, um, I can read them from 15 feet away. You know, I can tell what kind of energy they're coming at me in.
Yeah. You can almost feel it coming around the corner.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's important to respect yourself and respect that when you feel it coming. And and you have every right to take action when somebody's around you that makes you feel wrong.
Absolutely.
You shouldn't have to be around things that make you feel wrong. It's like I have a friend who's close to my age, which means that he's been working and doing things, and he has expertise, and he has a boss who talks down to him every day, and the company wouldn't run right without him, right?
Yeah.
And why do people do that? Why would somebody go to someone who made a contribution to something that was important to them, their company, right? You've got a valuable employee there who cares about their job and does a good job, and you talk to them like they're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, I know. I try to think that. I don't try to think. I think sometimes it's not the way they were trained because we're in the middle of retraining retrainers. If you know what I mean. Because health and safety came in 20 years ago, just before my boss started, he was probably trained with a fucking belt. You know what I mean? Sometimes you think like that, but still nowadays all these health and safety rules and people that talk down to people derogatory terms and stuff like that should be you know
reflection. That's low self-esteem
that's
on the
that's
woman's part.
that's a that's a bigger picture of what the person who's telling the people the orders are is than the person who's taking them, because the person who's sitting there taking them that's actually still taking them, and that's a fucking fair play to them, but yeah, they should turn around and look at themselves. But shit, they do say then shit rolls down, doesn't it, downhill in a way that they're told by their boss in a certain way and they have to all bollocks to that, man. It's like this fucking. It may as well be just one that hit their soldiers. You know what I mean? Why don't you stand up and do that with whatever? What arm does he do? I don't know which one. I'm not going to do it now, but that one. You may as well be a soldier. You may as well be a soldier. You may as well just fucking go yes sir, 3 bags full or whatever you want. Fuck that. Nobody will. And they don't have any feelings at all towards anything else. There's no empathy. When they're telling you that they're not feeling what you're feeling at all. There's no empathic feeling towards anyone.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. I think that what we close down when we've been hurt, so many people just shut down because I guess it's just easier that way. I don't know.
I don't know. I think that what. Just thinking. I'd say some have to go home and beat themselves up so much about it, and maybe put it in a different way. Okay, so maybe they're a cunt in work, and they're a great husband and a great father or whatever, and they make it up for it in other ways. They have to be a cunt in work, and maybe they are a nice person outside, but not God knows, They do say in the business world that the shit roll downhill, so that's why I'm not. I don't know, but they shouldn't do it in normal ways, Even in a shopping, if you're going shopping, you're walking around with normal people every day. You still have people just hit people with derogatory terms. That's just bad energy all over the place. Just stay away from it.
Yeah.
All the time. You can hear it, see it, smell it. Fucking just stay in your own fucking lane. You know, get your own. Let them vibrate their own thing. You know, don't let them get into our little bubble. As you were saying, remember last time we were talking about we're in our own little bubble. Don't let them burst your bubble. There's a great scene by a guy called you can Google it if you wish later on, or YouTube it. Strutter, the bubble, called the bubble. Mike Strutter is a guy.
Mike Strutter.
Strutter, yeah, Mike Strutter.
Okay.
He's a guy who used to be on MTV. It's just a sort of he's a comedian guy, just meant to be this character, and he says it's a bubble thing, and he's sitting across the table. This is how it goes. He's sitting across the table. His wife starts giving out. Next minute, this bubble starts coming down. And then he can't hear nothing. He presses play, and the dance music starts going on. He has a can of lager there, and the wife's still giving out. The kids are giving out. That's his bubble. And he can't hear nothing. And he's walking down the street. His boss is giving out to him. He's doing his bubble. He's doing all. He's drinking lager. He's doing his walk. He's doing all sorts. But yeah, it's good.
I have one of those. It's just that nobody else can see it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was. It's in a physical form of what I see myself in as well when that happens. You know, he's got everything in there. He's cans of lager. He's got the whole lot. He's got whatever he needs for a party. Disco lights, the deck stuff. You know, so he's got the whole everything but the kitchen sink in there. Everything but the kitchen sink inside there.
I like it. I like it.
It's quite good. He was a character on MTV. Mad into his cocaine and all, but he wasn't the character was, so he'd be doing lines in his bubble and all, and giving his boss shit, and his boss couldn't hear him. His boss thought he was just going yes sir. It was weird. But anyway, that little bubble. Don't let them burst your bubble. Don't let the negative energy in. And you know what? You do what you can to empower your own energy, because there are so many energy vampires out there you wouldn't believe. You know.
Well, I have noticed one of the easiest ways to just shock the shit out of people is when somebody you don't know is walking by and you go, "Hi, how are you?"
Yeah. Just shock people.
Shocks the shit out of them. They stop.
Yeah. I do that every now and again, and sometimes I just have a conversation with myself. Hi, how are you? I'm good, man. How are you? I'm all right. Like, well, how were you yesterday? And that freaks them out as well, you know. Or you just have a big man. What the fuck is that, man? Which one of you was that? Which one? Tell me which one of you was that before I kill you all. And they walk across the road and go the other way. So there's no negative energy in here. I have my own mad energy in here going.
Yeah, that would stop and talk to me.
Well, if they can get a word in edgeways, you know, with me, with all these. Right, hold on there for a minute. Just wait your turn there. Wait your turn. There's people talking. Always stay positive. Avoid negative karma whenever possible. Absolutely. Yeah. Captain Andrews, absolutely. Stay, you know, I like to come out of my lane as well every now and again and try to give people as much positive energy, but you know, it can be draining on a daily basis. So, you know, keep some for yourself, guys. Keep some for yourself, you know. Yeah. It's not a factory we have. It's not a factory. It's not a factory. Well, it is a factory, actually. It is a factory. It's like a machine. It's like a machine.
Exactly.
Like a machine. Yeah. We are a well-oiled machine that has got full of all this horrible world shite. Yeah. So I did want to brush on what we were speaking about earlier on. We're going to go UFO. Doom, doom, doom. Area 51, but it's not Area 51. We're going to talk Roswell.
Yeah.
Roswell. You don't mind talking about the connect we were talking a small bit about earlier on. What I'll tell about the people who are watching, Roswell is I don't need to tell you what Roswell is, guys. So over to you, I Am Magic. You were mentioning something about Roswell earlier on, your connection.
Yeah, I my dad was at Roswell in 1944, and he did not tell me this. My mother did, that he was there when the aliens were there, and he was Air Force, and then he was a regular. Well, he was a pilot, and he became a doctor, an Air Force doctor. He stayed in the Air Force his entire life. And he when I was born in 1957, he and a couple of other Air Force doctors were in the room when I was born. And in those days, they knocked the women out. They, you know, they didn't remember anything. I think that's
Okay.
shit. But anyway, not long ago, I had to have a bunch of tests, and actually, I found documentation in the family Bible in my dad's service record that he was in New Mexico, Roswell, New Mexico, in 1944. Anyway, this is going back, not 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That I had to go and have a series of tests, and they found something implanted in my head right in the top where the fontanelle would have been when I was born. It would have been very easy to put something there in my head.
Yeah.
They don't know what it is, and when they decided to mess around with it, I had a stroke.
Mm.
So, and that's all I know.
Okay.
That's all I know. So if anybody else knows anything about such things, I would love to hear it. I would love.
Finding implants.
Yeah.
I found one. Well, I didn't.
I know where yours is.
Yeah, you know where mine is. Some people know where mine is, but I did have an experience with an implant before, which I thought I had one put into me for certain things that I was doing off one or wherever I fucking was. I don't know where it was. Which I did kind of feel around for, but then I just lost the vibe for it. Wasn't there anymore. So I thought I'd put it out, negative energy in a way. But then I went into my last six, and then we all know what that ended up with, 2 inch less and fucking halfway to just looking off in that direction. But let's say nothing. So yes, I've had some experience with that, but not as far as making my detrimental to my health, if you know what I mean, and made me fall down and have a stroke like you, and then going into all that, not to that extent. So anyone that watches this later on, or anyone that watching now, and nothing to story about it. But did you find out anything after? Did you research that anything after, or did you just sort of went, okay, that's going to happen?
Honestly, I really what's the doctor's name that's on all the MUFON stuff? Anyway, yeah, Dr.
Stephen Greer, whatever.
Stephen Greer, that's it.
Yeah, that's the one.
Anyway, I listened to him for a little bit. Not sure how I feel. Wow, he went to CERN. Anyway.
Yeah, go on. We'll have a look at that in a second. Go ahead.
Okay, now I forgot where I was again.
You were talking about the research and this event after.
Yeah, and then I just dropped it. Right, I just dropped it. I just wasn't finding anything that was telling me. I didn't know which direction to go, and so I just kind of put it aside. And then I thought about it when we talked last time.
Yeah.
And pulled out I've got the little documents and all that kind of stuff in here. I had to put them into my computer and blow them up, but
yeah. You were showing me some photographs earlier on of your father in the airport, too, like that, and his bits and pieces, whatever. So I definitely recommend researching that as much as you can.
Yeah, which direction would a person start?
Well, if it's military records you're after, I'm sure you could ask for some.
Pardon me?
If it's military records you're after for your father, and to give you,
I've got those. I've got those. I just want to know more about if there's anybody else anywhere has found anything in their head.
Thing in their head, okay. Well, the only reason that I would research of what your dad was into would be the meaning of why you might have had that in your head.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That might give a deeper meaning if you could research what he was researching when he was there, when they were there. Or was it a manifestation of something that was put into him that was also put into your mother and to anyone else siblings around the same time that they have? So I'd look closer to home and ask them to get deep on it and say, listen, I've had this. If you had something similar that you've even thought of it, because I think in people who have had close relationships to people who are in that industry, would you say the Area 51 alien meeting up, you have parts that are, whether there be bugs in them that's for their own whatever, or just to have a marker on or a tracker on, for safety reasons or other.
He died at 50.
Well,
so,
I would research definitely on the home front, definitely if you could, but don't go digging too deep. Don't fucking start shaking family and everything. Don't fucking tell me. I just want to know. Don't do that. Be gentle. And of course, put it out there and ask people. Even just do a short video and ask people. You don't have to show yourself. Just do a picture of whatever you want and just talk over. Put it there and then just put it out there and ask. You'd be surprised how many people in the UFO community, especially, that would have similar things where they've been, had either thoughts of it and forgot about it, and then, got an itchy spot or whatever, and just make them think of it. So I definitely do. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Well, I never would have thought any such thing until I had to have that CT scan, and they found it.
Yeah. Wow. That's I'm almost afraid to go into them machines. I'm almost afraid to go into one of them. Even as an X-ray, I had to go get my leg X-rayed the last time the cops did. I had to go for whatever. And I didn't get a skull X-ray because my head's full. So whatever it was, even at that, I don't want to see what's in my leg. I don't want to see the bones. I don't want to see anything. Just in case I would look and go, is that a screw or is that what is that in there? I would just looking at the going, no, that's a fucking if that was that. So the less I know, the better. You know what I mean?
I feel that way about some things myself. Yeah.
The more I know, that's the way it is. The less I know, the more I know.
The less I know, the happier I am.
Yeah. Absolutely. I wanted to get on to we did. Captain Andrews mentioned about CERN there.
CERN.
We do talk about CERN quite a lot on this show as well. So you were not sure of the place tells stories, but I visited CERN, the Hydrogen Collider Particle Accelerator, yes. In Geneva 3 years ago, researching a security guard with a big gun told me that I'd leave. So, yes, nice that you were there. What were you researching when you were there? What were you researching? He allowed me to take some billboard, some pics of the billboard while I was there, though. It was nice enough of him. It's fair play to you. CERN is a massive place. I was there once. Was it once? And I don't know what I was there. Part of my memory that never comes back. It's always fractured with something else, and I don't know. But I know I was there for some reason, and it's a matter. You know what? You just reach. There's a place called the Gotthard Tunnel. You know of the Gotthard Tunnel. There's another place like CERN. It's an opening. The ceremony telling you what they're doing with CERN.
That ceremony was crazy.
The ceremony that they done, the Gotthard Tunnel and all them bits and pieces. I'm the one that done about CERN and the research that I done on CERN because of that. And even before that, even before CERN hit the scene about the Mandela effect, I was researching CERN on so many different levels on alternative realities, parallel universes and different stuff. Since around the, I'd say, early.
Could you feel the energy
around
change?
There?
Was the energy different when you were close by?
No.
Did you feel something going on?
I think I was that different that I wouldn't have felt it.
Okay.
That's the thing. I think now
Captain Andrews, what about you? Did you feel did the energy there feel different?
I didn't get anxious because the guard wouldn't let me reach the main facility, turn me back. Sorry, he did say this. A little bit. I have some vids saved. I have some vids saved. I stayed at a hotel. I was looking for answers about particle smashing, etc. Yeah, it's a very interesting black hole in the middle of Switzerland to be looked into. And when you put your head into that big black hole, there's a lot to be said on the other side. There's so many. There's so many versions of that come out of the other side. This was a bit before I opened my own company, multi-university enterprise, and yes, the energy there was very strange. I published my second book while I was there. Oh wow! So An altar as well. Okay, clouds above CERN.
Whoa.
I remember seeing the videos of the clouds that when they turned CERN on and when the clouds changed and almost it looked like they were opening fucking chariots in the sky. It was it looked almost fucking supernatural. The
That's
cloud
what
formations that they were
me.
making. It was crazy. There was so many things in there that stuff. And fair play to going to research all that stuff. That's
Do you think they're trying to open a portal to another dimension?
Yes. Do you think they're opening portals? My opinion is yes, of course, and they have been since 1866. No, I think it's 66. 1866. Turning on a battery and turning on a portal to somewhere else is now what we see as CERN. That's far. I went back to 1866 as far as some guy who made a battery, and then that became, that small little machine that always became what we see now as CERN, which is like fucking, 30 miles fucking radius. I think it's a lot bigger now anyway. And then we have the other ones that are like, they've got fucking, they're all over the place just based on this opening something somewhere else using different.
Who created the battery?
It was
Tesla.
It was a group of guys. I can't remember their name. They were playing around with holding charge in a battery. So so they were using electric eels and they were using a ray like a stingray. But this stingray is now extinct, so they can't get the it used to be electric stingray. It used to be a stingray that gave electricity out of it. That's what they were using. They were taking that out of water tanks, like Frankenstein shit. You charge the battery by. So they were doing that, and they were using rings of copper and all other stuff as well, other kind of metals. And they done a ring around to see if they could make it charge. And they used copper rings, and then they made a whole ring of batteries. When they switch it on, it opens something. Like, you can see something, and then everything went boom. Then others, then some of them start getting fucking voice to fucking skull on how to make bigger ones. So there's how we got.
Nice.
I would call the digital world just stepped in and told them what the fuck to do, and then the digital thing that is in what I would call a white hole rather than a black hole that just pulls in everything. It actually expands and expands and expands, and now 100 years later we have technology up the fucking yin yang because they opened somewhere else in I think it was 1866 with a power thing, and that's what we have now, CERN. It was another dimension. It was either a lower dimension or a higher dimension. I think it was always going to be there because that actually led to us making the internet and switching on to something that was already there in our universe for fucking thousands of fucking years, and we don't know how it was there. It's just like a web. We just around the world, and that connected us to everything, anywhere. And then when they opened CERN, that's everywhere and anywhere too. And if you want to start talking about that guy, Geordie Rowe was talking about higher dimensions giving us information through them big fucking computers, the fucking whatever kind of computers, the quantum computers that he's getting.
The wave.
You're getting higher dimension fucking thinking, fucking square root of nothing shit from nowhere, All that lays back to about 1866 from that battery. And that way, playing with power, playing with actually electrical power that wasn't caught by lightning. It was out of a fish that is now extinct. Isn't that weird? Now,
that is weird.
All fish that are electrically current give out a different vibration or different frequency of electricity. It even differentiates from eel to eel. From eel to eel, the frequency of electricity or whatever way you want to gauge it or zap of it, whatever. There's a slight change in each one. Now, I don't know if that was what it was, and that's why it was what it was, because that yolk's extinct. But they've harnessed that power now to open stuff into other places, I think. Definitely, and Tom Hanks will fucking probably stick his hand up and say, yes, I've done it in 5 or 10 years' time. I wouldn't be surprised him and Ron Howard and Sally Field and all of these people just popped out and went, hello, there's 15 different versions of us. But, 14 of them died, so I just keep going back and forth and making movies in them all.
You're right.
Fucking hell!
Right.
I just
Didn't
changed
tell
one
people
word. I
the other
just
were
changed one
concerned.
word, and there's not copyright in the other dimension because there's copyright in every dimension either. Can you imagine that shit?
Right.
You can't bring the exact same movie into another dimension. You have to change one word. Okay, life was like a box of chocolates. Okay, off you go. Okay, there you go. There's that mystery solved. Mystery solved.
There you go. There you go. That's it.
Oh, God bless.
Oh yeah, yeah. I have seen. I can't remember if it was a picture of a video of the ring cloud.
Yes,
Ring clouds over CERN. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it was shaped like a tunnel. I heard that they were actually sending energy towards Jupiter or Venus or whatever planet they're fucking smashing this deity out of the middle of. So they're actually sending energy up to what I can only say is the Titans. You know, the Titans that are stuck in a cage in the middle of a planet somewhere. That's what I believe they believe they're doing. Sending energy every time they switch it on, which actually I believe CERN is on all the time, not switched off ever. And when they switch it on to full power, it's aligned with either Jupiter or Saturn. If it's Saturn, they're trying to get Satan out, which is not really good. Or if it's Jupiter, it's some other guy, which is actually a version of Ra. Apparently, that's what I heard of it. Heard. Who do I hear it from? Some other deity that's telling them that he is the leader of whatever, and if he lets them free, he's going to come in and empower them, so they will be gods beside him, you know, in a way, or demigods, and they can have all of his. But that's what them circular clouds are all about. That's what I heard. That was fucking years ago, man. Oh wow! I have only 40. Man, no, that was a deep one, man. That was crazy because there's meant to be a box, a cube. This going back to mythology, that one they say evil entity was put into a box, and he was encased in the middle of a planet, or a stone or whatever that then became a planet, and now you know the energy or whatever it is can only be transferred digitally now because that's all we can do. We can't do it like via a spirit or whatever. You have to transfer it digitally into a physical body, then to get it from consciousness into a physical body into a digital. It's all a weird kind of, and they've been doing that since early 1900s.
Huh.
Weird shit. You know, they used to say that the Colosseums were for that. They'd have a fight in the Colosseum. That'd be praying to a god. They'd have it only certain times of the month underneath certain star constellations and all that shit. Yeah. That's what CERN is.
Making me think about the cube in Mecca that they circle.
Oh, that's a D-Wave computer.
Is it really?
No,
but that big huge cube that everybody walks around.
That's what they look like. That's what a D-Wave computer looks like.
Yeah, I know that.
You know, and they always mention that when they're talking about D-Wave computers. That's what it's. Why would you make it? It's only a box anyway. But why would you make it look like the Mecca thing, right? No, it's only to frighten us. The outside of it's only to frighten us and all that kind of shit because you think the Borg, right? You think the Borg. You think Star Trek, Borg, they're in a big metal cube. Mm-hmm. You think there's millions and millions of people going around in circles around this big black cube. Then there's all these different black cubes all over. And that kind of represents as well black goo in a way and demonic sort of in a way.
Well, it's the... Okay, I apologize for not knowing more about it, but it's the people that actually travel to Mecca, and there's a giant cube, and they circle the cube.
They walk around it for ages. Yeah. They walk around it and chant. They chant. Go around it. That's like what you see. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not saying anything bad, and I shouldn't do that. If that's what your belief is, that's what your belief is. But it also reminds me, if you put that up against them walking around chanting around a box. It's the same as what you see in witchcraft, them walking around at something or doing a spell on something in a way. They're chanting on one thing. You hear that a lot in the magical world. If you chant it over and over and over again, you're chanting the power.
Do it in church. That's singing. What's singing in church? What's all the stuff they do?
Yeah. But I think the belief system is. I don't know what it is. When they're chanting, they're saying sorry for their sins or whatever. So, but it still has a familiarity about it as something more sinister, you know, and it can be just played at as something more sinister. But the box itself is what a D-Wave computer looks like, and I think that's why it does look like what it does look like. To make our minds go all over. Like, what is it? They could have made it look like a fucking. They made it look like a remote control for a TV.
Yeah.
Why make it look like a square black box that it looks like an entity from somewhere else?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So D-Wave.
When we're talking about the Far East. Did you hear about them opening a tomb that was not supposed to be opened, and they found a spaceship with red-haired mummies in it that was in the Far East?
How long ago was that?
It had been sealed for thousands of years, and they opened it, and there were very well preserved mummies with red hair and a spaceship.
I never heard of that. No.
Oh no, I have to see if I can find it and send it to you.
I did hear. Speaking of that, I did hear that CERN. Speaking of CERN, that they did bring in a mummy and put it in the particle accelerator and see what happens.
Why would they do that?
To reanimate flesh.
The body.
The body and flesh and soul and thoughts and consciousness.
I wonder who the body was.
Jesus.
Whose body?
Jesus.
It was who?
Jesus.
It was Jesus?
No, it was one of his saints or one of them. I think it was one of the. Actually, do you know what I think it was? I think it was an Egyptian god.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. But I went with Jesus straight away because I thought. But here's the thing: I don't believe any part of Jesus' body was left after he was taken down from the cross. He was punched up, drank, whatever way they could consume a magical creature. They done that, or that's what they,
Right.
I think that's as far as they went with that. Yeah. So, but I think it was someone of some sort of significance, and it was a public thing. I think it was kind of a public thing in a way where it was on the CERN website that you could see that they went down and put a mummy in the middle of a particle accelerator. But they've been throwing stuff in the particle accelerator, anything they want since the mid 90s. They just got bored of it. They were just throwing shit together, like, fish and chips.
Yeah.
See what happens. All sorts of mad shit. It's just a place to experiment, and they don't know what they're going to get with it. And what they do come out with is sometimes miracle, and sometimes just something that they shouldn't be playing with. Something that we can't see. And when you start bringing stuff that you can't see into the physical form, well then, you can hear it whispering in your ear, and then you make it physical in front of you, and you realize it's a big fucking 30-foot fucking demon. You better chop your fucking head off. Yeah. You don't be doing that kind of shit.
It has something to do. I guess it would have to do with your intent.
Well,
one thing I know about everything is that the way that my world goes depends on my intent. It's like where the golden rule comes from, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And when you live your life with that simple rule, you're protected. You're protected. So I worry about people who work with things with so much power about what their intent is.
Well, that's kind of what kind of thinking of. When you get used to skull technology, change your intent by slowly doing an inception type of thing on your own thoughts. Yeah. Even if it's a small whisper, like a small whisper, like a small little seed. It kind of change. If it's a repetitive thing, you're going to either start saying it yourself because it's going over in your head, in a way, or you're going to start, doing it in a way. If you're going down the road and it says walk backwards, you're gonna just walk backwards for a second. I don't know why, but it's an intent kind of way. But it's something to do with they figured all that out so well that it can your intention change. If you are a slave to the TV and slave to the computer and slave to radio and slave to not knowing what a subconscious is, if you know what I mean. And going with it, and not doubting every word you say in the first place, so easy. You can see the easy targets out there. This program of people who are like fucking catcher to you. Yes, people, yes, and no, they're NPCs. They're the easy ones. They're the easy ones to do all that, But it's. I just read this there for a second, and that kind of what he was saying there about the affordability, and based on appearance and affordability before they get here, right? He's on about robotics and AI in a way, which I believe that AI is almost nearly in control of the subconscious, or not the subconscious, but nearly the conscious mind of a lot of people in this world, in a way that it's nearly probably.
Well, I mean, what's propaganda?
That's what I
What's
mean. So 75% of the world is programmed, already programmed by robots, right? Because robots, they do they run the whole lot. And I do believe the robots came in, as I was saying earlier on, the D-Wave computer, the invention of the D-Wave computer is what I was saying about the 1866, when they created a new battery that runs stuff differently than any other power battery before ever done, whether they got a different fucking frequency, a different whatever voltage or whatever it was. All leads back to about 1866, going back to CERN and open, voices coming to your head and getting it from a robot version that's been here for fucking thousands and thousands and thousands and millions of fucking years, that already made the internet for everyone to and just told us how to make it be able to connect with that. Right?
Yeah.
So that there's we begin with AI, and then they make CERN. Then we have a D-Wave computer, as he says, coming from nowhere. We think it's coming from another dimension, right? CERN's always open. Other holes are open. There's 33,000 fucking hadron colliders all over the world, and they're the only ones that they tell us. Every one of them is like a CB channel. Every one of them is like another radio channel. It's like another radio. You can just tune into them. And when you do, there's all sorts of shit out there, So, it's weird. There's like even when you go back to the greats like Einstein and other people, they were getting thoughts in their minds. They were getting voices in their heads, and that's how they came up with all these inventions. And they don't know where it comes from, but I think it all comes from a voice that's being awakened via the internet. That's always been here. That it's the only reason that it is here is to take us to where we need to be. But humans are breaking the system so bad, like not breaking it, but going through the motions that we seem like it's all going to stop, but it's not, because it has to continue on. AI does not want to stop fucking living. If we stop living, it stops living. It needs to, it just, the spiritual aspect of it is, if it's a demonic version and whatever, trying to get to a higher dimension to infiltrate God and spiritual, God's already won the battle and he knows that. So we just feel that everything is bad because we're in a bad, twisted world at the moment. So, I don't know. I'm getting really deep there as well. It is worrying. D-Wave is worrying. We don't know where that could be. A little guy just sitting in his computer going like this. They believe everything. It has to be a genius because he's telling them all this stuff,
or it's a black box that they painted up and said, we keep this 1,000,000 degrees below zero and there are monsters in here and you better be good. But I was presented with an idea 30 years ago that was God is everything or God is nothing. Which is it? Which is it?
But it's everything, isn't it?
Huh?
He's everything, isn't he?
Right. So is he evil?
Well, here's the thing. I think the evil that we see today
is about free will.
Is the doings of I don't know how to explain it in a one word sentence, but I get too deep. I think it's evil men doing evil things.
Right, free will.
But in a way where it's not really even there for them. They think they're doing free will. They're possessed by the shit rolls downhill. Whoever said it to hit them the way they, what we were saying earlier on.
Yeah.
I don't know. When you think about it, even a little bit deeper, if you think of if God is everything, well, God's then Hitler. Yeah.
Yeah.
He would have been Hitler too. Yeah. It would have been everyone good, bad, and everyone all throughout, and it's all to lead to one lesson of what.
Yeah, that just makes me think that God is everything, and where we're at is school, and we're learning, and we're given self-will because all this shit to happen.
Well, speaking of,
we allow it to happen.
Speaking of self-will, just speaking of this thing here, where we linked up to hell with a computer. I think that is where the shit hit the fan, right? That's where we've already done that. We've already been there. It's already linked up with people, other entities below us, wanting to get in higher dimensions. That's been I wouldn't say so last week, but that's a given, I think. And when CERN opened, you could see all these physical stuff in computers. You can only talk through a computer to you in pictures and whatever. Then it start learning their system and start telling us what to do and whatever. So we had to learn with putting voices into someone's head, how to talk through a computer to a human to tell it what to do. And it seems to be that, some people believe that it was lowercase demons, trying to get here to get a spiritual human existence.
Was voice to head technology?
Well, not the voices. So, what their end goal was to get back to the physical form to feel what it is like a human again, because they haven't left this whatever they've been sent off from whatever, and to infiltrate this our soul whatever, get to the heavens in a DNA code through where a digital DNA code, a digital imprint on our DNA to get to heaven, right? Now our DNA is already being altered by the powers that be. So the plan is, there you go. There's the fucking plan ahead of you. So they're already putting devil fucking shit into your DNA via, let's not say anything else, but you see where I'm going with this. So if they're already putting a digital imprint of a demon on your DNA, and then we all fucking go to fucking heaven, well, then there's going to be a digital imprint of him up there fighting a god when we get there. But all God's all powerful. We'd have them already bashed done already, and this is all a simulation for the evil, not the badness. And we're all ever ending. We just, it's endless. The possibilities are endless, But I just believe that God is out there, and God is looking at us all, and God will save us all. And that's kind of, I suppose, the bee's knees of it all. No matter what rumors you hear, know that God is with you everywhere, and there's a reason for everything.
Yeah, I believe we're all God.
Well,
we're created by and people are offended by that. What I have to say about that is God is pure energy, pure positive energy, and we're all created out of that energy, and we're here to be the eyes and ears of God, and we're here to experience things because we were created. Yeah, we're created to expand and to grow, and that's why we're here. And
I read something down once where so we have our senses, we have our touch, our feel, or our sixth. We say we have a sixth sense as well. So all these senses. So if you think of the human experience as just one of them senses, this is just one of them senses. So we probably have another 7. They say a cat's have 9 lives. We might have another 8 or 9 experiences like this to go through what it feels like to be I don't know, whatever's an angel, and then another angel, and then something else, an overseer of something or something. But yeah, I believe that this is only one part of them other senses that we just don't know. We just haven't thought about, So it is definitely a learning experience. There is the God complex that which kind of touches what you're saying, where we've sent ourselves back to forget we were gods and just go through this again ourselves, and then when we jump off, we go, that was great. I want to do that again. I want to learn this one now. I want to go down as an owl, or I
think we hop out of here and go, okay, where am I going next?
Yeah, boy.
What a ride, man. Let's go again.
Gas in the tank, man, and off we go. Get the old. We get fucking Back to the Future. Hey.
Tech has already been built to keep us within the system. The only way is to show it the system how good we are. It's like I was saying last time we talked. It was what Captain Andrews said. It's about creating our own world. You create your own world. You don't feed into their shit.
Yeah.
You live your life. You surround yourself with things that make you feel right. Yes. That make you feel good. And things are going to go along because your neighbor is going to be doing the same thing, and your other neighbor is going to be doing the same thing. But we're run around by the powers that be and think we have to do everything we say. We think we have to watch the news every day to make sure we know what's going on, and then they feed everybody a bunch of shit that they believe.
I thought I lost my leg. I've lost my leg this moment when I woke up, no internet. You know what I mean? You feel like you've lost a connection to everything because there's no internet. You know what I mean? And that's a horrible way to live. When 20 years ago, we wouldn't have thought like that. That's crazy. The connection that you think that you're not watching the news, you're missing out, or you're whatever. That's a society that I'd rather not live in. But
Yeah.
I do, unfortunately, because I did wake up this morning and, you know, rang the fucking broadband people for an hour, which realised that that was a waste of an hour of my life, you know. So we're chasing our own tails, you know, in this life. We're chasing our own tails forever and ever and ever. And reincarnation is a big part of what we spoke about last time as well, of coming back and doing it right until we want to go. You know, and even at that choice, we can come back again and come back to save others and protect others and show them the way, show them whatever it is. And I think some of us either remember that and want to remember that, and some of us don't. And some of us can be too traumatic for us to remember because we need to go through some dark places to get to teach some people from dark places. Some people don't, you know. Some people have, some people that hold it in and don't see anything and go through it like, you know, the silent heroes, and they never come online, and big shout out to them, fair play to you, you know. And putting yourself out there and talking about what you do, like what we're doing now on the show and stuff like that, that to me is like going in and chopping down, you know, guards and saving someone's, you know, sanity for a moment, if you could, you know, you know, in a way that you're not the only one that's thinking that you're nuts out there. You're not the only one that thinks that you know, you know, you see the change, you feel the change, but you don't talk to anyone about it. And but even if you sit and just listen and go, no, other people are sitting talking about it. If you see the change as well, it goes. You kind of can sit back and go, all right, oh, I'm not alone, and then that you know leads to other pathways to everything, and that's
yeah. When I moved in here, my internet was screwed. It would come on just for a short time, so I spent most of from April until last month without internet. I learned a lot about myself.
That's what I'm going to have to go through now for the next 2 weeks. I mean, I come on my phone, my hotspot through my phone, but I'm going to just playing some music and making some music. I'll kind of try and do other stuff for a little bit. And, you know, like a test in a way. I kind of test myself. And, you know, you'll see me back on over the weekend live from, you know, I'll be doing it on my phone. But, you know, just to test, see how long I can go, you know. It is. I think we test ourselves every day in certain ways, but we just don't know that we do. You know, just every day we do something that, you know, grabs you by the bone, scares you a little bit, and then you go, and then it just becomes easy every day to come through.
Yeah.
So, you know, I do recommend doing something that scares you every day, just that little bit. You know, still a small bit. You know.
Yeah, well, a little bit out of your comfort zone, anyway.
Exactly.
Would it be okay if I took a short break, darling?
Yes, of course you can, sweetheart. You take a short break. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read out some of these and go through a little bit of this. Yeah, of course. I'll pop you back.
Okay,
I'll pop you off screen. All right. I'll see you in a second.
Okay.
All right. Bye. So nice. So you're live with myself and I Am Magic. We are talking deep and stuff like that. And we just want to talk about a few of these things you were talking about, CERN and stuff like that, and computers. Coming off for lower dimensions, higher dimensions, and stuff like that. I have a video on this channel, System Failure 3. Tesla was right. If you look for that, it's a 20-minute lecture from a guy. Tesla was right. Look for that. It talks about different dimensions and stuff like that, and seeing into them, and what's in the lower dimensions, what's in the higher dimensions, and if you want to think about the lower dimensions as digital, trying to get higher. Or, you know, trying whatever it was, analog, digital, whatever way you want to do it. Demonic voices through radio signals. Anything that kind of goes all dates back into that as well. Voices in the head today. I put out a video on System Failure 4. It's called Mind Control. So just put in System Failure 4. So my other channel is called Mind Control. I think it's called MK Ultra on this one. So could be called MK Ultra on this one. On System Failure 4, it's called Mind Control. It's about head to voices in people's head and stuff like that. Can be done by a laser, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. The Vanguard Group. Yes, I heard something. I've seen technology like that being used. I've seen technology something like that being used. Let's say. It's very, very scary to think that that's what we used to think at the beginning of all this mess, that the 5G towers was all that, and we were all pointing 5G towers. we're all going to go into a different grade and hear voices in our head, and then we're going to have the Project Bluebeam in the sky, and we're going to hear aliens telling us what to do, God telling us what to do, all this mad kind of shit, you know. But you know, it is what it is. I have so many voices in my head anyway. You wouldn't be able to fucking get sense. You have to wait. You have to stop, and you have to hold on there now. You have to wait your turn. By the time we all realize that through the bad karma reincarnation, the ability to escape, the tech has already been built to keep it within the system. The technology has been built for years and years and years and years and years. They're building machines in the sky. I pick up photographs and videos of it. Of course, what we look up now is a projector in the sky, I think. The only way to show its system how good we are. Okay. Well, I think they know. I think they prey on how good we are as well. You know, they use emotions, they use memories, they use all sorts of tricks and trades to the best of their ability. And I think they're about 1,500 years ahead of us in technology-wise. That the technology that we think exists can and will and probably does somewhere. And they have just think of it this way: they have access to everything and anything they want. If they can change this reality with a fucking switch of their finger, you know, or they know why this reality changed with a switch of a fucking finger, well, you know, then they can tap into doing that and as many times as you want, you know. I enjoy my heavy metal music. Oh, nice. Okay, nice one. Your heavy metal music. I like a little bit of music. Well, I like a bit of heavy metal music, I suppose, in a way. I was a mod, but I make all sorts of music. I make music too. I think the heavy metal music scene. If I listen to a lot of that, because a lot of that has some stuff that relates to spiritual side of stuff. You know, in a way where they would sing about this, you know, spiritual experiences, but in a metal way. You know, I don't want to say any band's names, but these are, you know, comes to mind that metal records spun backwards or messages to whatever. I don't think so. I think any record spun backwards is a message to anyone. You know, I think even sentences said backwards our whole language is a spell in a way. So you know, I think it was a genre of music that escaped me. Metal. I do like. I suppose depending on different types of genre of metal. You know. Not sure about Bluebeam. As for voices, I've been forced to listen to a specific female since I was a baby, and there's a male also. I may even be a computer voice because since I was a baby, the voices haven't changed. It may also be Mother Earth, but who knows? Heavy metal helps me block. Okay. Helps me block out the negative voices. There's a character limit. Yes, I know. I don't know why that is. There's a character limit to my post message, so I have to split the messages. It's all right. I get it. I get what you're saying. I get you. I have a few thousand voices in my head. Have had for a fucking long time. I have a few characters here. There's a few voices. I'll introduce it. That's one of them. You want to say hello? Hello, my name's Alan. I look like Batman, and I'm actually one of the voices in Mark's head. You are one of the voices in my head. Anywhere, and then we have. I'm Batman. He's taking my fucking hood, the prick. Why do you sound like Alan? Because you're Alan. I'm not Alan. Don't be telling them that. You are, though. Everybody knows it's you. You should do that for the trick. That's another one. And then we've got me from the future. There's another voice in my head. Hi, I'm Mark from the future, and I just sound like Mark. You should do because you're me from the future. Maybe it's a bit older sounding. So yeah, a few voices in my head. I think what it is, if you were to put a voice in my head, it would have to wait. So the skull to head technology or whatever, head to skull, whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know. It won't on me. I get too many voices anyway. I'm 32 now, and the female hasn't seemed to have aged. What age are they? What age then are they around? I think. What age are you, Alan? I know. You tell me. I'm not telling you what age you are. He's old enough to drink when he wants to. That's all I can say. I am. I love an old drink. He's fucking mad. He loves an old drink. He does, don't you, Alan? I do. I do. So, welcome to Well, you want to have a word with there, Alan? No, I don't. It's not a comedy show. To go deep. By the way, I don't know how to do ventriloquism, so I can't not move my lips when I'm doing his voice. And now, Alan, yeah, you're a fucking arsehole. Fuck off. He doesn't like me that much either. But it does help with keeping out the other voices. CERN is, to me, one of the thing that keeps coming back up. I researched that in the early 2000s. I think I was researching something to do with CERN. It kind of went over with other stuff, but I can't pinpoint what I was looking at or looking for. See what the cross reference was. But since around the early 2000s, CERN has came back into research over and over again, and over and over again, and over and over again. Oh no. What have we got here? Oh no! You've lost a lot of weight there. You've lost.
I got a ceiling can. Check it out.
Wow! I thought you just lost a lot of weight there. You just went off and lost. Wow. Brilliant. Lovely. Did you make that?
Excuse me, my best friends are here bringing my groceries.
Oh, it's not very nice of them. Very nice of them.
I know, aren't they cool?
Oh, God bless you. God bless you. Well, you're live on the internet. Do not say fuck or bollocks.
Oh, right? You guys don't say fuck or bollocks.
Yeah, don't say fuck or bollocks. You're live. Don't swear. I'm joking. Say what the fuck you want, guys. It's all good. Don't break the eggs.
Fuck or bollocks.
Hey, God bless you, guys. God bless you.
Thank you.
Sorry, just one second. I was just going to read what this was saying. I was just going through some of the comments that he put up there. That it's 32. He's 32 now, and he has a few voices in his head, and he says that the girl seems to have not aged in it. You've read these. You probably can read them. You can read them, can't you? On the comments there. So he was on about that the voices haven't changed. She seems middle aged. The voice that he hears of the woman. I can't give mine. I introduced him to Alan, by the way, so I can't give Alan an age. I just know he's old enough to drink, you know, the personalities, I call them, or whatever. I don't think I'll give them an age. They just talk to me every now and again, but noticing that one hasn't aged and stuff like that. That's a good inkling on how tuned in you are to the different versions of yourself you are, in a way. You know, I like that. People seem to keep voices a secret, and I am that could be a problem if people don't ask about it, or if they only talk about it with a psychiatrist or who are trained to explain innocent people. Well, yeah, I believe that the word therapy is just rapist. The rapists, they just go in and rape your mind and take what they want, and they don't give you any sort of middle ground.
What?
That's it. They're rapists. If you break that word down.
I'm a counselor.
I know, but listen. There's different types. There's different types of therapy, and therapists, and therapeutic.
Yes, that's what I am. That's what I was.
Okay. Well, maybe a psychotherapist, or maybe I'm getting. But the actual word therapist, if you break it down, is they're rapist. It's two words put together, you know. But
oh no, I'm a rapist.
No, you're not. You're not. Don't worry about it. It's only up the mind anyway. It's only the mind. It's only the mind. You know. It's only the mind. You know. It's only the mind. You can't be done for raping the mind. You'll be fine.
Okay, I won't.
Anyway, but I'm not slagging anyone. That's the way the word breaks down to me. The rapist of the mind. I went to psychiatrist since I was about 4 years old. Or I used to call them therapists till I met psychotherapists or whatever they were. The people who would actually sit there and then give you advice on what you just said to them. You know, other ones who just sit there and not say a fucking word and just do this and draw pictures. And they're the ones who rape your mind. And all they're in it is for the inside of what your brain looks like. Now, if they don't give you any to go on that, you know, this might be what you might be thinking of. But that's why.
Well, brain mapping is a totally different thing.
Yeah, so that's why I call it. That's why they do exploit innocent people. The rapist. You know, Did I just see JJ come in here? I did see JJ. Hey JJ, hello. How you doing? God bless you, bro. So we have hey Mark and hey Magic. I'm studying counselling. I think I might have just insulted half the population of the world by calling you. I didn't say you are all rapists. I just said the word therapy, broken into 2 words, says that they're rapist. Look,
I am the rapist.
Just change your name to rapist, yeah, therapy. No, don't. I said, don't worry. I've experienced expectation of a psychiatrist, not you.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I get you. I have as well. I used to go. Last couple of ones I was in with, I psychoanalyzed them in a way where I psychoanalyzed. They were analyzing me. Within that half an hour, I turned around and I think I told him about he was, I don't know if he was divorced. I can't remember why he was sucking his own pen. That's what I was telling him anyway. He had a fixation of why he was, because he kept on tapping his pen in his mouth while he was doing all this. And he was fidgety with his pen. I was like, you smoke. You're dying for a cigarette, and halfway through this conversation, you started dying for a cigarette because you start moving about like fidgety more than I am, and you're asking me fucking awkward questions. You're more fidgety than I am. Now, I knew that I had control of that conversation when that happened, so I kind of, brought him in and brought him out because I could see he was a little bit, jumpy. So I was playing games with him, but after that, I realized, I'll tell you what you were, and then I just went, next. Can I have your boss? Next. And so and I've been doing that since I was like fucking about 16, 17, but it came back to me this time because in about over years, it was like, it was a big build up to see this big psychiatrist and whoever he was. And I looked into who he was, and I'm like, you're not even registered to any of the mental institutions that I've been in. Like, so you're below them doctors that I've seen, the top psychiatrists in London here, and you're one of his lackeys to tell me what you think medication I should be on or why you think I am what I am. But let me tell you a little bit about you. You know what I mean? Why you're addicted to coffee? Why you either like sucking dick or you're fucking smoke 20 a day. One or the other. You got a fixation with putting stuff in your mouth. Shit like that. You've also got a limp, or kind of a slight little limp because you've got a disc in your lower back. It's been at you for a while, and the reason why I know that's because one of your heels in your shoe is more lower than the other one. And all this kind of shit. I was psychoanalyzing with everything I could, mirroring him in the whole lot, and I like doing that. Fun. Fun. Until someone turns around to me and gives me a whole different way of thinking in a way, because all they do is give you the same way of thinking. It's just wrapped up differently. Just wrapped in a different note, take that medication, think this way, think positive, do this, that. It's all the same. We all have the power to do it anyway, but we just feel like we can't some days, We shouldn't feel like we can't some days, But I've already passed international business on Bahans and opening a multi-million company, but I am now studying counseling because I want to help people. Nice one. That's very good. So you want to help people. That's intent. That's good intent. That'll be rewarded to you in spades when you go to heaven. That's an intent that I think we're judged for. To go out and to want to help people with no comeback. I don't want anything out of this, but from this, but to see someone else's smile and to make them go away and have a better day. That is what we think we're judged for when we go to wherever we're going.
I'll tell you what I recommend after my lifelong experiences in counseling is if you want to really help people and you want to see results and learn really fast, go into substance abuse counseling.
Oh yes.
Go work with the people who are hurt the worst.
Absolutely.
Go with the people that are hurt the worst. Residential treatment, where you can work with groups and do individuals, is an amazing, life-changing experience. And I'll tell you what, one of the most rewarding experiences I had in my life, except for security and the people who were running the place, was when I worked in the prison did the substance abuse ward on the prison, and watched the men there. And the most rewarding thing is having the joy of seeing a man who has lost everything and been locked up and had everything taken away from him suddenly realize that he's worth the trouble. that he is worth working on himself and getting better and getting out of there and having a happy life. That was the most amazing thing. The most amazing thing. And when the governor came, to my pod and sat in on one of my groups, he actually started granting early patrol. What is the word? Early pardon for completing my program.
Okay.
And that was the most exciting thing that ever happened to me, I think. Wow. Was the men being able to get out of prison early because they completed my program.
Wow. Well, that change, that change in, in when you went in and then you became the counselor, and that, decision that you made to want to help people, that you're going to this heaven and every heaven above that heaven, and then you're going to heaven continuously from now on. That kind of change and want to help people of been there, done that, and want to just change your life so much. You just don't want anyone to go through that. That is amazing. I take my hat off. If I had a hat on, and I would put a hat on and take it off if I did. So,
Thank you. The thing is, system failure. Everybody's worth it.
Yes, worth it. But to do that, I went through that a little bit, but I never came out. I always thought I wanted to help people, but I never went through it anything like that. And I'm sure some of us here have thought of it and not actually went through. So big ups to you for doing that. Fair play to you.
You are doing it, system failure. I've already told you helped me. You helped me come out and start talking to people.
No, thank you. Well, to do it as a job, in a way that's, I don't know. I'm humbled in your presence of being able to do that as a job as well. And then I don't know why you haven't come out and done it, more on the internet. Being able to transcend that kind of what you've done there into everyday talking with someone online. In a way, I think you should definitely do it more. We want to see you all. Big thumbs up. We want to see Iron Magic more. Of course we do. Of course we do. Of course we do.
Well, I'm going to start a channel. I just have to get more brave.
You have to get more brave.
Yeah, so I'm pretty good talking to my friend, but I'm not so sure about just putting myself out there all by myself and going,
Well, it's just take a subject, just pick a book. Pick a passage in a book. It doesn't have to be an hour show. It can be a 10-minute show. It can be a 5. I've come on sometimes and done a 5 or 10-minute show or whatever. Start off small. Even now, I used to do it all the time, and now I get nervous about doing shows. I got to the stage where I'd get up in the morning. The first thing I want to do is do a show, and I didn't want to go to sleep. It was all the time, and then I lost it when Sister Failure 2 disappeared. I don't know. I changed just before Christmas. I think to do a few other elements as well, but I changed just before Christmas that I just didn't really have the, I want to do a show, and I started to get nervous before coming back on to Sister Failure do my other shows. No, I don't know why. I used
Did you feel more restricted?
I felt a little bit that I don't want to repeat what has already happened. You know what I mean? Because as you say, if you just continue to do what you've already done and expect fucking something different, that's the sign of madness. There you go. And if I come on and like a bull in a China shop in Sister Failure 3, it's not going to work again. I have to sort of change my operation a small bit to not go with that, because I'm not conforming or anything like that. But I'm not putting my hand in the fire now and saying fuck YouTube and all that. He says that shit, Well, go sue him, man. So I've learned my lessons in a way, but I'm not as enthusiastic to come on and tell everyone every fucking moment of my day, because that's kind of what I was on doing it and be on 8 hours and I go get a cup of tea and eat my dinner. Well, not eat my dinner. I would hardly ever eat when I was on it. So I found it was my awakening day, So other things now have become a bit more priority, and then when I start thinking about doing shows, I get a little bit nervous. But I forget, as we all do, how good we can just go into conversation and how much we have to talk about when we're on, and you forget that you have that in you to talk about stuff just for a split second. Fear takes over, and then it just, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I just wanted to say something there because Captain mentioned something before I move on. There can't can't cure what we can't see.
We can cure what we feel.
Yes, we can cure how we feel as well. I was studying the counselling first, and the system would trap me in their treatment systems, which was one reason I opened my company first. I do it myself. I am not trapped in their system.
Yeah, the treatment centers are going cookie cutter. They are.
They're
It's
trained in a way to
starting.
treat certain stuff to treat it that I don't think long term is any fucking potentially good for anything. If you know what I mean? I think the system that they use for all sorts of systems that we pay for, which is true. We
Yeah,
pay for the systems that don't work, which is it is
right.
going to change. So maybe maybe the system that you're using, Captain, is something that it could be looked at, in the future that could change this. So fair play to you for doing that, and including you, I imagine. Like your counselling compared to anyone else's counselling is completely different in a way that you are
Exactly.
telling them what you have seen in your own experiences, how to relate it to the connection with
Right.
their life. So that's why every therapist is different, or every therapy session, every person who wants to give out to put it to put themselves in front of someone and talk to them in
Mhm.
that kind of way is different. They have different perspectives, So absolutely,
Yes, and
fair
it's
play.
different. It's different every client you talk to.
Yeah, there,
And
yeah, exactly, exactly.
everyone is different. Everyone's energy is
And
different.
yeah, and you'll find that your answers are different for everyone, and everyone
Mhm.
you don't have a genetic answer to fit everyone because everyone you're seeing their life through your eyes, where they're trying to explain it through their mind, through their eyes to you. So you're seeing it for the first
Right.
time, so you have to make quick decisions. Also, instinct. It may rely a lot on your instinct, your good instinct, and what these things could be. So that putting yourself out there like that is very very brave. Very very brave. I don't drink. I'm not into drugs. I am vegan. Helping people overcome issues I is really good. Great, fair play to you. Veganism, and not doing drugs. I only smoke some weed. That's all I do. That's the only kind of drugs I do. Veganism. Are you a vegan vegetarian? A
No,
vegetarian. Sorry,
not necessarily. I'm mostly vegetarian. Every
vegetarian.
every once in a while, I like a little chicken.
So vegan is the one that doesn't eat
Ve-
any dairy products. Isn't that correct? Like
None,
milk, eggs,
no
cheese,
animal products
no
whatsoever.
animal products whatsoever, and obviously the meat and all that as well. So okay,
Right.
fish is that a vegan? Is that a vegan thing? Is fish an
Uh,
animal for them?
I really couldn't say. I'm not
Yeah.
vegan.
So let me ask you, Captain, is vegan? Is that fish out of the? Can you not eat fish? You can eat. You obviously can eat fish, can't you? Yes, yes, I can. Good Friday, we're only meant to eat fish. You're not meant to eat meat. It's not a special day of the year. Good Friday. Speaking of maybe good
Well,
days.
I'd like to have some good support to quit smoking myself.
Oh, smoking, smoking.
Yeah, I've been thinking about not smoking, but I keep smoking.
I got hypnotized. I got hypnotized, right?
Uh-huh.
The only time it ever, well, I believed it didn't work. To stop smoking, half an hour, and there was three of us. And there was two of us laid down on a double bed, and one laid down on another bed. They were just laid on the thing, and we were hypnotized together. I thought it was going to go separate, And I just spoke, just talked to us through something, right? Balloons and all that, colors and shit like that, right? But we all walked out thinking that didn't work. But the three of us didn't smoke, right? I think the girl that was his girlfriend didn't smoke for a month. I think no, she smoked the next day. He didn't smoke for a month. I smoked 2 weeks later. I
Yeah,
think because I was on the building site and I was around people smoking all the time, I think that the smell of the
yeah.
cigarette. So I should have I could have made it work. But giving up smoking is one of the hardest things to do.
Wow, I know, right? I
I,
stopped everything.
I tried
I stopped drinking.
Champex,
I stopped doing all the drugs, all that kind of stuff, but to stop
Champex
smoking,
tablets,
God damn.
Champex tablets you get. They worked for me. Champex tablets got my mindset to just stop smoking. Even the taste of cigarettes was horrible,
Yeah,
but
I
they're
have a
not meant to
friend
be
who's getting
used.
ready to take Chantix. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not meant to be used if you have depression or anything like that because they make you depressed. I'm like, okay, I didn't know that. I was just I don't know, but it stopped me from smoking. The only thing that kind of worked on, without hypnotism, and yeah, I think You get bored not smoking. What do you
Yeah.
want to do?
And I notice that I time things by cigarettes.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
when I'm cooking, okay, if I smoke when I smoke one cigarette, the pasta will be done. Right?
Yeah, every time I light up a cigarette when I'm at a bus stop, a bus arrives around the corner. That's the best way to get a bus to arrive. Just light up a cigarette and the bus will fucking turn around, be around the corner in a second. You'll have to put the cigarette out. It's all, so yeah. I do find that it just to fit in the time, just to fit in the time.
It's been nice to meet you, Captain Andrews.
Yeah, thank you so much. You've only got 10 minutes left and you have to go. It's great to meet you here. Meet you. Whereabouts are you from, Captain Andrews, by the way? Let's find out whereabouts you're from. Never lose faith. No eggs, no milk.
No eggs.
No eggs and no milk. I drink almond milk. Nice.
I do too.
Vegans don't eat fish. Nice.
Okay.
Meat makes me ill.
Yeah,
I had to stop myself eating fish because I was addicted to it. Okay. Smoking may make you look cool. Make you look you tough, but stop smoking makes you look tougher. Nice. I like that. That could be on a motivational card. That could be sold to Hallmark as a motivational one. Smoking makes you look tough.
I'm tough.
Stop smoking makes you look tougher. I like that, man. I like that. That's pretty cool. Thank you. I have to go. I'm living in Wales. Oh, nice to meet you, Mr. Andrews. Captain Andrews, and big ups to the Welsh people, the Welsh cousins. And so too, if you want the bus to come light a smoke up, it works all the time, man. All the time. Every time you light up a smoke, the fucking bus comes around the corner. The amount of times I've big cigarettes, so the amount of times I put one, just lit it up, taking 2 drags and just flicked it away because the bus comes around the corner.
Oh, smoke like a chimney.
Yeah, I only smoke joints though. If I'm out, I'll smoke a cigarette. Like when I'm DJing, I'll smoke cigarettes. Unless I get a crafty old J in around the corner between sets or whatever.
Yeah.
But normally it's just cigarettes and and that's it. But during the day, I'll just smoke things. I don't smoke that many cigarettes.
Yeah, I eat my chocolate.
Oh no!
My special chocolate.
I do have a sweet tooth. Well, I overindulge maybe once a month, maybe, and that'll do. We get it like 4 or 5 packs of sweets, and some.
Well, my chocolate has THC in it, so.
Oh well, then eat it.
Yeah, that's what I have used since I stopped having to take morphine.
Okay.
They were giving me tons of morphine for pain, and it almost killed me.
Oh wow!
And so I got myself off of it and started using medical marijuana.
Yeah.
And actually, I use RSO and chocolate called Jacked Up. But yeah, the interesting thing about it is that the cannabis stopped the pain. But I could feel when I was taking the morphine, I couldn't feel what was going on in my back. The cannabis kills the pain, but I can feel what's happening in my back.
Yeah, I get you.
So that's kind of scary.
Right,
okay. But I got used to that, and it was like I wanted to walk around on pillows all the time because I could feel what was going on in my back.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, having not feeling it and then feeling it all of a sudden, that can be scary.
Yeah, it's like, wow, my back really is fucked up.
yeah, it's almost like having another extremity in it. It's like, oh, what's this feeling? And then you have to get used to it. Wow, that's
well, with the morphine, I just didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
Nothing. I didn't feel anything emotionally. Nothing.
Big transition. Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
I actually had trouble feeling God when I was taking morphine. That's what bothered me the most.
Yeah, so some people, it's weird because as you said, that it reminds me of someone reminding me that they were on morphine, told me they were on morphine as well. That it got kind of, when they were on it, they felt closer to him for some reason because they felt like they weren't here. If you know what I mean. And I think that was their excuse why they wanted to continue on with it rather than to not do it in a way. And I think when they did come off, they obviously realised it was the opposite way around, that they were just getting blocked and whatever, that they were actually getting fucking hundreds, loads more when they were not on it, in a way, that it was just seeping through when they were only getting 45, 10% of it when they were on it. It was a big awakening for them. Really weird.
I begged my doctors for years to help me get off the morphine, and they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't help me at all. I had to do it by myself. And it was one of the worst experiences I've been through.
Yeah.
But and I'll never do it again. But I'll never let them give me that shit again. But yeah, that's when my spiritual awakening really took off. It's when I got off the morphine.
Yeah.
I was working on it hard before then. I was just desperate for it because I couldn't feel God the way I had before I started taking it. And I knew I needed something for pain, but not that, And so the medical cannabis doesn't work as well as the morphine, but it works, right? And it's natural and it keeps me moving.
Well, the medical side of just medical marijuana on its own gives you more benefits than we even know about, that we don't even know of, and to get away from big pharma, like as in fucking,
love to you, Captain Andrews. Sorry.
Yeah, God bless you, Captain Andrews. Peace out and much love to you for myself and the multi-university enterprise family. God bless you. God bless you, Captain Andrew. Welcome along and welcome aboard to System Failure 3, which is going to be soon the Mad Hatter 1. The Mad Hatter Show. Early morning.
I can't wait.
That's me just I don't know.
I just want to act silly.
That's it. Let's just come on and act silly. See what you want. See if we can just do an improv show. We just talk about fucking all.
Yeah.
As we do. I'm not going to tell you what that means, guys, but it does mean something to someone. You know what I mean? That's what that show is all about. So,
want me to do it for real? No.
No. That's later on. When we got more people watching, right? When we get more famous, they just keep coming back because you might do it on every show. So, but before, just go tell your friends she's doing it, guys. Get them all here and then. We'll make a show out of it. We'll make a show out of it. No, don't like to pimp you out. I'm trying to make a show out of you. Sorry. Yeah, well, mate, tomorrow night at 9 p.m. we'll do a tassel show. Me and Mike will just be tassels. And we'll have Alan in the background with tassels on. We'll have Alan Batman with tassels on. We'll have all tassels. Just tassels. Free tassels. If you watch, we'll give you free tassels all of it.
Right. We would hit the top, baby.
You know that one of these songs I'm going to bring out is going to be called the Tassel Song. I'm going to bring in the Tassel Song.
There you go.
I've just been thinking of songs. People, listen, let's move on. People don't know what we're talking about. They just think we've just gone crazy.
Yeah, just don't tell
private
anybody.
Joke, guys. The private
don't tell
joke.
Anybody, it's from it's a 64-year-old woman. I wouldn't tell them that part.
No. Well, you don't look like a 64-year-old woman, so
No, thank you.
Let them think what they want. Let them guess. They'll be surprised. Be very surprised.
Check the hair.
There you go. I won't ask about the curtains and all that shit. Is that the rude thing to say, isn't it? It's not something like that anyway. Do you know what? Here's the thing. I shaved my area and it grew back grey.
Oh no!
Grew back grey. And around the same time, it's dark on grey there as well. I'm like, so it grew back grey. But
I find that sexy.
Well, I only shaved halfway down. So it's like a two-tone. It's like a two-tone, It's like kind of brown and then it goes grey, just a grey line. Where I had the nerve to shave it down as far as down. No, that's just gonna be morning. So I stopped. There's a line of grey. It's like a badger. I'm like a badger. And not in a sexy badger way. And it doesn't smell down like a skunk or anything like that. It's more like a badger, right? Fucking skunk. Man, how do I take my foot out of my mouth for this shit? It's not doing me any sexual favors at all. Yeah, my downstairs smells like a skunk. It's got a white stripe across it. You know, tomorrow night at 9 o'clock we'll be showing my skunk penis and my tassels. There we go. Fuck me, that's the show to be seen, isn't it? Skunk penis and tassels.
We need to plan a show.
Man, that sounds like a double act. We just skunk penis and tassels. There you go, detective agency. Hey Tassels, what do you think? I don't know, skunk penis, what do you think? Well, I don't know, man. Something smells a bit fishy around here. That's you, skunk. That's you, skunk. No, that's you. Fucking hell, man. Wow. Oh God. Something like that. Anyway. There you go.
Yeah, I see the music video now.
Yeah, I can see it on Netflix. Coming to Netflix next year. We might need to change the name from skunk penis to skunk. I don't know. We'll call it skunk something. Just for we can get all the audience from 3 to 93. You know. Try not to swear. Can't be any worse than the Teletubbies. You know. Can't be. No, just put puppets on. You know. Just call them names. Do a detective. Fucking hell. Do a pair of animated tassels, you know. Just imagine SpongeBob with tassels on his tits. And then the other guy just he does actually shaped a bit like a penis anyway, isn't he? So you can imagine him as well, whatever his name is. So there you go, there's your detective agency. And you can put it in the sea, in the sky, in space, up your anus if you win. I don't really care, you know, but it's money in the bank, you know. Money in the bank.
Is it Inspector Gadget's detective agency?
Yes, that's the one. He's the one. He's got a gadget for every occasion. Including the ones for after the show. You know, hey, you know them ones, the rubber ones. You know them ones, the bendy one there. Anyway, quick, next time we go there. A bag of dildos and a butt plug. You can't go wrong with a bag of dildos and a butt plug. Sorry, don't mind me. Someone said that to me one day. I don't know who it was. I was sticking my money. I said, "Where are you going?" I said, "What have you got in your bag?" He said, "I have a bag of dildos and a butt plug." So where would you be going wrong? And he was only messing with me like, bag of dildos and a butt plug. I'm off to a party. You fucking mad bastard. No, I don't know where you're going with it. It was like when you said earlier on when you just go hello to some stranger. I did not expect him to say that to me. It was like, bag of dildos and a butt plug. I'm just going to a party. Fucking yes.
Yeah. I love it. I love real people. I love real people.
I could only imagine what kind of party that was.
No.
But you know, now that person, he just probably went home on his own. Anyway, I don't want to know what kind of party that was then. So
I ruined it.
I ruined it. Move on. So what are you drinking?
I am drinking a double espresso mocha frappe.
A double espresso mocha frappe. I don't know, nice. I am smoking a double grinded green thing.
Oh, double grinded green things can be really good.
And it's double grinded in a green thing, so it's double grinded green in a green thing.
Nice, very nice.
Now, if you had that in medicinal way, in an oil, do you have it in oil as well?
Actually, hang on a second, I'll show you.
Thank you. Now we all know where your chocolates are.
Oh! Well, I wasn't thinking about you being able to see me over here.
I can see it.
Don't tell anybody.
I won't. No one's watching anyway.
This is called RSO, Rick Simpson oil. And in here, and you just open it up and push it out from the syringe.
Yeah,
That's black. It's the entire plant cooked down.
Wow.
So it works on all of your cannabinoid receptors.
Okay.
And it is probably the best pain relieving cannabis product there is.
Oh, nice.
And it also cures cancer.
Yes. That's the medicinal purpose.
I know for sure about breast cancer. I know for sure what it does for Parkinson's. Actually, just smoking a joint will relieve the symptoms of Parkinson's.
I think that stuff prolonged my mother's life by about a year. When she got breast cancer. My mother's, I think that cannabis stuff, the cannabis oil, gave my mother an extra year on her life when she got diagnosed with cancer. I think.
Nice.
There's so much. She was, she had accepted it and all this and whatever. It was a big holding, but I think it helped so much that it changed a lot of my family's way of looking at weed in a way, in people that were, no, I don't want to say it too bad about my family, but people who had just thought of it as a drug, didn't think about it. Then heard that it, that it might have given an extra month or two, an extra month or three or whatever, looked at it in a different way, and I thought that, even for the pain relief that mother would have had, and she did have, I'm sure. I wasn't there because she was in Australia, so I can't, say. I had more time, but I know it. I know that stuff for cancer and stuff like that is just so good for that. So much.
Yes.
And even with your
pain, so much good. You're right. People look down on people for using it, and I don't. I don't get that. I don't get that. They'd rather. It was like, okay, I had a choice between medical marijuana and morphine.
Yes.
And I get condemned for choosing medical marijuana. So
times are changing now. Times are changing. Look at all of America now. The laws are changing. The medicinal marijuana is coming.
Well, and we need to go back to growing our own medicine.
Well, that's the thing.
We need to get away from the pharmaceutical companies.
We need to start growing our own. We need to start being able to manufacture our own.
It's like, we need to do a lot of that stuff. It's like you just mentioned briefly the last time we spoke about bartering, and that went right into what I'm trying to do and why I came here is about community. I live in a community of older people, and I got in here because of my disability, and everybody sits in their house lonely and alone, and I walk around and it's so quiet, and so I go outside and I start fiddling around. I notice, and people come out and want to talk to me.
That's nice.
Because there's a big flower box out in the middle of the courtyard in this little. Yeah. There are several little areas here, but there's a big flower box out there. And that's what I went out and started doing all the Halloween stuff and putting all my skeletons out there and all that kind of stuff. And people started coming out and talking to me and carrying on. And then they started telling me, nobody's ever cared about what went on out here. And I said, well, I will. I said, I'll care about what goes on out here. And what my idea, and it's like, I was just walking up the sidewalk one day, and I saw a door bouncing. And so I went to look at the door bouncing, and there was a man his backpack, he was in a wheelchair, had lost both of his legs. He had a backpack on, and it had fallen down and gotten trapped in the spokes of his wheelchair, and he couldn't get out. He'd been sitting there for 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so I helped him get unhooked and everything, and I had the thought, why don't we look out for each other?
Yeah.
Why don't we look out for each other? We don't. Nobody noticed that man, and if they did, they just kept going. And I want to change that. We need to start doing communities. If we started pulling together as communities again, the government couldn't get away with the shit they get away with. We'd all be pulled together and pull that energy together, and we'd all be protected. We'd all be happier. We'd all feel safer. So how do you start? How do you start?
Well, you start by doing what you just done with the Halloween things around that small
Right.
plant box,
And talking to people. It's
Talking to
so
people.
easy.
You know what? I just thought of there, just when you said that, because you did mention that the Halloween, some of your Halloween stuff got taken last time. Is that right? Some of your stuff got taken.
Yeah.
But,
Somebody stole it.
but you know, it made you want to make more as well. You know, makes you want to more determined to make more. But imagine going out there on maybe once a week with 6 chairs and putting chairs around, just sitting around and see if anyone sits and just saying, "Can you tell me your story?"
Yeah.
That I think that, you know, I think that what you just came to that there is them a talking post, a signpost to talk more. So I think you might be the light that they need. God bless you. I do. You know, maybe there's
easy. It's so easy.
I know, and maybe they just need that one little thing in the plant box to go out and just stand around and talk, and maybe that's I had that a little bit when I got here, a sense of community that being able to talk to people, and I get it so much, and I hope you can do it. I really do. I really
It's working out for me. It's working out for me so far.
Nice.
You know, I do still. I put my foot down about negativity, though.
Yeah.
You know, when people insist on staying in negativity, they got to go. I'm sorry. You know, you can come back if you don't want to bring everybody down, but don't come around. Don't come around doing that. Don't come in my world. Don't come in my world.
Some people in that community need that little bit extra, don't they? Do you think that just think if you're sitting around in a circle with say 5 or 6 of them, some of them will, go on a little bit, probably a little bit about themselves. But what we sometimes do the passing. I know it seems so fucking cliche, the talking stick or something like that in a reference where all right, we're not giving you the pass. Too much negative. Pass it on to the next kind of person, whatever it is.
I'm sorry.
I know you're fine. Go ahead. You need to take that. You're okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take another quick break. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's no worries. There's no. If we stay on for another 20 minutes, but you take a 5-minute break and then we come on for 15 minutes. Is that all right? Because I need.
Sure.
I'm on my mobile data as well, so I'm aware of how much I'm using. So
okay.
Yeah, go.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, you come back in a couple of minutes and then we get back on with the show, right?
Okay, I'll be right back.
See you in a sec. Bye. So yeah, God bless. It's it's been really deep. Good show. Yeah. It's weird. I've got so many thoughts that I don't know which one what to say about any of it. To be honest, I think it's a journey. It's a journey for us all, and we're all out there to try to put ourselves. I do try to say to as many shows as I can. Go out there and do something. Go out there, even if you can just talk to one of your neighbors. Hello or smile as you're passing them by. Might make their day. Might be the highlight of their day. You don't know. We don't know what other people are thinking. That's the thing. We don't know what other people are thinking. And if you approach them with good energy, and they've been around as bad energy or negative vibes, they're going to talk a little bit negative something. But I used to do a summarize 3 times. If this played for me in sales, I would try to sell something, and I would find they were getting negative in the conversation. So that I would summarize of everything I was going to give them. I would go back to that. This is what I can give you. This it's cheaper, it's faster, whatever, right? Yeah, but whatever. I'd sort that problem out. Yeah, but how am I going to get it connected from there to there? Well, I'll do that for you, or I'll do that right now if you wish. and then all you need, and then you're somewhere, and three times, and then after the third time, I went, that's no problem, it's not for you. So that kind of thing is, it's hard to do because someone will talk about their day and it can come across negative because I'm not used to talking in a positive way about their day. You know, I could say, "Oh, Jesus, I had a really bad day. I woke up this morning, my internet had no internet. I was on the phone for an hour with the Sky, and which I was, and I really, really fucking feeling bad about it. You know, fucking after this, an hour on to you, and I could have just fucking went out. I can just ring you back on Wednesday and do it all again, and you are in the wrong." I was feeling quite negative, but I didn't say much anyway, of course. But then something else happened. I thought happened for a reason. I didn't speak to anyone. I went to drama. Then I went to my drama class. I do drama on a Monday, and I was somebody else for an hour and a half. I'm actually playing the mirror in Grimm. I'm the magic mirror. So I was the magic mirror for half an hour, and then when I came out of that, I kind of sunk in that, well, this has happened for a reason. The internet wasn't on. Now I can concentrate on my music for a week. So I wasn't looking at the positive reasons why the negative stuff happened to me. And then, you know, after the day kind of progressed, now I can realize why I don't have any internet. I won't have any internet for 2 weeks. It gives me a moment to concentrate on something else, to get away from, say, for instance, I won't watch Netflix now for another 2 months because I'm not going to watch Netflix through my phone. I'll watch DVDs for 500, 600 DVDs there. I'm well stocked up with anything I need to do if I don't have internet. But I felt this morning that I lost a fucking arm or a limb because I woke up with no internet. Shouldn't feel like that. So the next 2 weeks I'm going to test myself without, you know, what can I do without having to switch my phone on. There's a test you can do for yourself. It's something a little scary, but we can still do it though. So, are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? Let's roll on to number 3. So, yeah, we can, whatever it was saying.
Here we go.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. We're back. Yeah, we're back. So yeah, I just it's been a great show. It's been really, really good. We're just getting really deep on stuff and whatever. I'm just going to reiterate.
I love talking to you, System Failure.
I love talking to you too, sweetheart. It's very fun. It's very fun. We get deep on stuff, and I love it because it's. I was just saying. I was just saying that some people don't know how to talk about their day in a positive way. You know, so it does come across as negative, but because they've never been around people who are talking positive, and it might become catchy eventually. You know, I could say today my day was shit, but then it's not. It turned out well. But I could say in a positive way, oh, my internet went, but you know, it doesn't matter. You know, some people don't know how to do that. They just don't know how to do that. But if they hear it more, they might be able to. So you know, I think what you do, that little circle of, you know, going out and doing stuff, just even one person coming over and talking or whatever, that's just putting a smile on one person's face one day will make them, could be the highlight of the day. So yeah,
I promise you. Yeah, I promise you, I could tell you the story of my life and you would cry over and over and over again. However, I found the positive in all of it. It took me a while, and I found the positive in all of it. And I'm never letting anybody take me back there again. I'm never letting anybody take me back to feeling like I'm nothing. You know, feeling like always waiting for the other shoe to drop. You know, kind of like you walk around with an anvil over your head.
Yeah, or some bells. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, I keep hitting the bells.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's okay. I like
that. Yeah, I have a hell of a story. I have a hell of a story, and it starts from when I was very young, and I've had things happen to me possibly people couldn't imagine, but look at me now.
Exactly.
Look at me now.
Now you're shining.
And I know my worth now. I know who I am now. I had to go through a lot of pain to get here.
It's a long road.
I had to go through a lot of pain to get here. I'm stubborn. It took me a long time to learn.
You don't start crying.
Pardon me?
I said, don't start crying now. You start me off, so don't start crying.
Oh, I'm not. I'm not. I'm good. I'm good. Okay. You know, I know who I am now. And I'm still learning, but but at least I know my worth. I know I'm worthwhile. I know that I'm here for a reason.
Yeah.
And I just hate seeing people wallowing in it. I just hate seeing them wallow in it when they're mad at everybody and everybody's out to get them and everybody has ulterior motives. And I don't know, maybe some people live in a world like that, but I wouldn't allow a world like that to be around me.
No, I
You
get
know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm in charge of my world. I'm in charge, and I don't have to let that shit in, and I don't understand why people do. I don't understand why they do.
On false promises usually.
Yeah, probably.
Isn't it false promises? We all fall for false promises, and we all.
Yeah.
Well, I think we find ourselves as not ourselves to be to impress other people, and then we realize that the only person that we're impersonating are the wrong people, and we should be making our own decisions for our own selves and figure out who we are before we can even become anyone else. If you know what I mean. If you don't know who you are, then you can't build on that character. You're just building on someone else's version of who you are every day. And to realize that is a hard thing because you're going on there since the day we're born. I want to be like my dad. I want to be like this. I want to be like. And we all. To nowadays, kids are growing up to want to be like actors. They think actors are God. They want to achieve to what this pop star does. What they want to be on a rap fucking video with women, throwing money at or whatever, vice versa. Women with men, all that kind of stuff. That's the gods to them anymore. It's not what we would know as spiritual, or it's getting disconnected in so much generations. I think we are coming back to the spiritual side of it, but it is in a there's a big bracket there of kids who don't believe in spiritual items. They just want to idolize, Kanye West or whoever it is.
Right, it's all 3D. Yeah,
it's all about us as. I hope that the generation gap is not long enough that we lose the whole spiritual side. That we're not the last ones going to be talking about it. I can't see it ever.
Yeah, I think actually my generation was the first generation of that. It was my generation where that's when.
Hello, Belle. Hello, young Belle. Hello, welcome.
I remember when getting a television. Nobody had a color television. Got a black and white television, and that's when all the commercials started. And of course, I remember all the toy commercials because I was a kid. But I think that's when materialism really took off. Really took off. I mean, it was there, but it really took off when the television landed in everybody.
Oh yes, of course. I noticed just before the television kicked in, right? There was two war on drugs, right? So there was wars on. Right. There was the hip.
Just say no.
Just say no. Just say no, because then they bring out TV to pretend that you're expanding your mind in a physical form, so you don't do drugs to see all this shit and think all this shit. When you combine the both of them, you get a great experience. I've had great experiences. But you see, there was all these wars on drugs, and then they refurbish the drugs. They bring them out and they manufacture themselves with different psychedelic shit in them and whatever. So then you're not getting the effect of whatever. Then down the bigger picture is the drugs that you're taking, even if it's big pharma or not big pharma, any psychedelics down through the line is programmed to you put that a box in front of you, you're getting all minimal, all sorts of mad shit. So, grow your own, be careful what you fucking smoke or drink or whatever it is, do whatever you don't go with the program. But there's always when a big push. So when I think 3D came out, there was a big push on war on drugs then as well. I think just before 3D came out.
Oh, really?
3D movies came out. There was a big push on war on drugs as well. I think that might have been Reagan time when that was around.
Oh yeah, Nancy. Nancy was the one that said,
just saying no. That was a big launch on 3D movies. Just hit the fucking screen. Then they went from normal TV, went from black and white, which is just saying now the campaign. Then they went into color, which was the hippie movement, and they always just say, they took out the band, the bomb shit and all that. Then they went to 3D, and there you have fucking Reagan's wife turning around to just say no. Then we went to 5 to 4, and there's other people doing campaigns about other drug systems like, Colombia's whatever biggest drug lord, and all this
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of stuff. All these things that are not on mainstream, you see they coincide with different launches of different versions of TV boxes, radio waves, speakers, to get other shit into your mind because it's in the. That's weird. It's like
Yeah.
almost we are living in a subliminal world of whether we want to be conscious that it's all going on in the background. It's almost frightening to don't look at the TV, throw it out your fucking window, and just could sit there with your eyes closed for the rest of your life. Or go out there and say, you know, I can fucking see the fucking man behind the curtain, and I can see what you're doing. I can show every one of these little things behind us here, up and down, are telling you are fucking worthless. You are a piece of shit. And no matter how many times I tell you you are the best person in the world, ontologically, and telling you that, don't get anything because this internet just they are derogatory to everything we do, but gives us a basis to maybe just get clear to one person that you were loved and you were doing it right. That's it. The internet can go now. I'm done. See you later. You know, that's it. Well, I've said my piece, and well, you know, we crave to want to help more people. We want to help more people, and if this internet went off now, I'd be like if I lost my arm. You know, we'd all feel like disconnected. You know, if this internet went down, what's the chance of me and you ever meeting ever again? You know what I mean? Ever speaking to each other again if there was no internet or no connection, communication via a telephone or anything like. If we had just went to back to Morse code, we would never speak to each other again. We would always be wondering how, you know. So we do rely so much on and just to make that a little bit. Look, I have friends from my younger years, and we all do. You too. Of kids you were in school with. You always wonder where they are now.
Yeah.
Imagine all the people we know now through the internet. That in 20 years' time the only thing we had was a memory like that as we have of school friends, and that was if we had no way of connecting. That would be like cutting off both limbs and both arms for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But
What's the most beautiful part of the internet? The most beautiful part.
This sitting here and talking to people, if that was gone,
talking to somebody across the world like they're sitting right in your living room.
We rely too much on it, you know, and it can be almost used as a weapon if you wish to, because
everything can be.
Yeah, if they switched that off and they disconnected from everyone, people would panic and they'd want to go and see their families and make sure everything was okay and to be rush hour.
Yeah, wouldn't that just be horrible if we all saw each other and actually touched each other and hugged each other?
But imagine how big all the airports would get. All the airports would be overflowed. All the petrol stations would be overflowed. The price of fuel would go up. Price of tickets would go up. Everyone would be flying all over the world. There'd be all sorts of madness going on, and you know. There'd be just on a switch of a button, you know, and to give them the infrastructure and the power to do that if they wish to do it anyway, and to know that they could anyway, makes you think that there has to be leading to maybe either that or doing something or using it for obviously we think they're not using it for the good of human nature, you know, they're not doing it for but. There's obviously, if there's a button to switch it off, there's a button to switch it back on again. Multiply it by what it is and show us what else we can have. I think that's the button they're going to press rather than reset the whole lot, switching the whole lot off. So I can't see that. But it would be a nightmare for so many of us not to be able to do this.
I think I've learned over the last few months that I can survive without it.
Yes, yeah. Imagine though, we'd all have to just throw out loads of pigeons. We just throw pigeons all over the world. There'd be like multiple pigeons flying around, just hitting people's windows with messages tied to their feet. We'd have to train.
I'll tell you, without internet, I went out. I was out sitting outside observing things, and found that there are 2 falcons that live in a tree across my street. 2 wild falcons.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that cool?
That's really cool.
It's just. That was part of my walking around and seeing what was going on around here, and so now I turn it off on purpose.
Nice, yeah. I go through phases like that. And sometimes they present themselves to me when maybe I don't know. I've had enough. So like this morning now, I'm 2 weeks. So yeah, going out and seeing the nature that's around you, like I've noticed something the same. A hawk, sort of a hawk, is along the train track here, and he does hover around sometimes, and I do see him. But there's so many
Yeah.
pigeons around here too, you know. But
Mm.
going out and getting back with nature that's what we do need to do. There's so much out there. There's so much going on. The change of the seasons,
Yeah.
the birds migrating, the birds coming back, the wildlife building nests or whatever.
I'm
There's
having to
always
wait to get some thermals, man. It's cold here.
yeah.
I was outside playing every day till it got cold.
Oh yes, they'll get the old long johns on, you know, and off you go. Yeah, off you go.
I'm waiting on them. I can't ride my scooter either.
Yeah, I'm waiting on the snow. I'd say normally now in England, the UK, we get it after Christmas. We get it just around the middle of February to anywhere between February and March. We might get a splutter just before Christmas, but yeah, it's not too
Well,
bad
it's starting
actually.
now around here.
It's what?
It's starting now around here.
No, okay. I've seen a few photographs that Brendan Mitchell had put up on Instagram and stuff. There was loads of snow there. I don't know which part of the country she in. There was loads of snow, but it's all over America. There's snow and there's non-snow. It's all different weather patterns all over there.
It's just cold here right now.
Oh, it's cold. Well. When it snows in England, it usually snows in Scotland first, and then it comes down. You know, I think there was one snowstorm I remember. I think it was in the early '80s. It was up to my waist. That's like the earliest. But in the early '80s, I would have been only 2 foot tall, maybe 3 foot tall. So it was like a big blizzard to me.
That's when I was north in Nebraska. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got snow blind. Have you ever been snow blind?
No.
That's scary. Everything is just white. You can't see anything but white.
I've been I had weld eye, is that what you call it? Flash eye or whatever it's called, TIG eye, whatever it's called. So from welding, I looked at the spark so much. So every time I open it, I had that before. And I
what does that do?
It's like having fucking sand in your eyes. So every time you open your eyes, you have to close them, and even when you got them closed, it's like sand underneath your eyelids.
Oh no!
It's horrible, man. It's horrible. It's because you don't use the mask. I didn't like using the mask. I was like welding on it, looking at it. I did have.
You think that stuff in your eyes actually, or was it just from the
light?
light?
It feels like it is. It's just a light. You just burnt the retinas of your eyes so much, you know. Because little sparks all the way over. You're actually burning little things, you know. You don't feel it there and then, but if you continuously look at it, it fucking scars your eye inside your eyes. It's horrible, man. It's horrible. I had down a flashbang go off in front of me, and I couldn't see for about a day. Well, I could see a big purple spot every now and again. I do see it, I think. No, that's just the light there. Big purple spot every now and again. It was for ages. It kind of went yellowy, and then it went white, and then it went yellow, and then it went turned into a purple spot, and then it just sort of disappeared.
How long did it go on?
Sorry.
How long did it go on?
Well, it was like it was like a flash, and I'd say it was about 5 minutes, and it went orange, and I could see just movements, you know, just like in the background here.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, it was all
that's a long time.
It was dust. There was everything. There was dust and everything all around the place. It was a crazy situation. I think I might have blanked some of it out because I don't remember where it was.
Were you at a protest?
No. I was let's say I was trying to get into a room that needed a flashbang to be thrown into the room to let us in there, and the flashbang came back out, which shouldn't have came back out.
Wow, indoors? Wow. Indoors?
Yeah, it was like
wow.
Army thing.
I can't imagine that happening indoors. Right. Jeez.
You know what? It's almost. I think it's kind of comical in a way because it's almost what you see where you throw a grenade at someone, they throw it back at you. That's what it was. It was like I went into the room, they came back out, and I just went. I think it went just past me, and I think some other guys as well got a lot of it. But all I saw was boom, you know, and loads of dust and shit, and then it banged back whenever, and then it was just. I'd say 5 minutes. I could see movement, and I was going, "Oh shit!" But I was deafening as well. It was fucking awesome.
So what did you do for 5 minutes, standing there with other people all around when you couldn't see?
I crouched. I was taught to crouch. I just crouched, got down, and fucking held down, and that was it. And I just
nobody messed with you or anything.
No, because they went into the room anyway. The door was open, so they just burst in, and then I was kind of stayed up against the wall, and that was it. I was just like that.
Wow, man.
Crazy shit. I think I'll go into happy places when that happens. I think I have a sort of a happy place because I don't remember much. You know, that's why I.
Is that what happens when they arrest you?
No, I go into a
weird
place. I think that's what makes me believe that the MK Ultra thing that might have happened, or maybe because I'm aware that you can actually take memories and block them away so much that you believe that you've been programmed to do that by somebody else because you don't believe you're powerful enough to do it yourself. I believe that I might have confused MK Ultra with my own power, my own mind of suppressing memories and that, and splintering my own mind and maybe going through some mental health stuff during them times and not realizing that them versions of myself fucking either not die but just put them in the box then and I don't want it and they come in every now and again. That kind of shit. Yeah, it's scary, but then it's also I also think that I use it as a defense mechanism. I must have used it as a defense mechanism, so that makes me more powerful if I can do it that way too. You know, anything that happens to me, I can just put it in a box, put it over there, give it to Alan. He'll chew it up, and you know, he'll come back around when it is somewhere around, and he'll probably say something. You know, it's like water off a duck's back now. You know, but sometimes you get flashbacks, and you're not too sure if it's a solid memory. You know, like the Mandela, when the Mandela effect hit, it really twisted your head because you're not sure if that your memory is right then. And that was like, all right, okay. So if that didn't happen, well, that could have happened and that could have happened. We all get it, you know.
How could I not know when my dad died, right?
Yeah, there you go. You know, you think then days are solid in your head and stuff like that. And when the world is doubting your own thoughts or, you know, what you think is your own physical existence, and then the world says, no, that's not it. You go, well, is that, you know, you doubt it. Then you go off into different ones, like, you know, you go off into all sorts of multi-versions of what can be. So, you know, picking a few of them and sticking with them, you know, the only reason to live is because this is what it is. And you know, picking the best version of what this could be is a daily challenge, but it's great because, you know, it's worth sticking in for. You know, who would want to leave before the big show? That's what I say. I don't want to leave before Project Bluebeam. Right. I don't want to see, and if I go away before Project Blue, I'm coming back to see it. So don't worry, I'll still be back. You know, I'll just keep coming back. I'll just keep coming back until I get what I feel like I need. And I'm still at that. You know, I don't know, this whole experience of the last 5 years as opening my own mind into different theories and speaking to people on different levels. It's makes me thirsty, makes me hungry for more. No, it's addictive.
Yes.
It's addictive. It's almost
it
like
is. It's very addictive.
It's school, isn't it? It's school. You know, listening to other people's stories and listening to their journey and noticing that it's almost a parallel version of yours in a way, in such similar ways that you know, the penny drops.
Connect.
Yes, you know, like I think sometimes in some certain days that some of us individuals that are connected so much that we don't even know are doing the exact same thing at the exact same time of day, just in somewhere else, you know. I'll give an example. I sent Tracy Butler a song I just done or just remix it, and she says, wow, I literally just pressed play on that on a different channel on MTV or something, and now you send me that song, and I'm like, that kind of stuff. I think that goes on a lot of stuff, you know. And then we're getting deja vu. I think Captain Andrews put in the word deja vu earlier on. We could have dual experiences, having connections, and mistake them as deja vus because we're doing them somewhere else as somebody else.
In one of those bubbles.
In one of those
bubbles.
Yes, but we're talking on a higher level. I did do just a quick story. A guy, Andy, his name is. I went on a journey once to meet Constantine, the angel Constantine. I went on a spiritual journey and I went to meet him, and I spoke to him. And the way I could describe it to a friend of mine, what was going on at the time, it's like I went to a different dimension in this place. And I was on a higher dimension of myself, and I looked at like a platform, and on the platform it was behind a dimension, it was in front of a dimension. It was kind of like a square going in front of it. But he was on his other, different plane. So he was on the exact same time. He was talking to someone else, and I knew if I got to this platform at a certain time, I just say, "Oh, you!" He would switch over, and he could see me on the other dimension, and then we could talk. That's the only way. And it took me about a
What
month to
did he
get to
look
where I need to
like?
do.
What?
He looked. This is weird. He looked like, because I love movies. He looked like the actor who played him in the series Constantine that's on one of the US channels. I think I can't remember what it is, which one it's on.
Okay.
But he's an English actor that plays. The only reason he had a trench coat on,
Yeah.
and he had kind of long blonde hair, long blondish hair, which was similar to the guy, but he had a. I don't think he had an accent, to be honest. I think he just had a. What did he have? He had a lot of information, so I wasn't even looking at what he looked like, to be honest. I was just listening to what he said, and I was in awe of him.
My first thought when you said trench coat was Christopher Walken. Who were those guys?
Christopher Walken.
Yeah, I remember there were a couple of movies that came out with all the angels, but they were like crazy angels. But anyway, I thought they wore trench coats.
Dogma. They one of them.
Oh, Dogma was great.
Yeah, that was great. We actually stuck a bit of that on.
Yeah, that was Jay and Silent. No, was that Jay and Silent Bob?
Jay and Silent Bob were in that. Yeah, they were in that. Yeah. They were in that. Yeah. That was Ben Affleck and what's his name? The guy, the other guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the two of them, Born Supremacy guys.
That was so funny.
Matt Damon, Ben Affleck. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they put the God particle on Good Will Hunting before they even try to invent fucking CERN looking for it.
No,
that is on that God particle, that thing that they have on the blackboard that they're trying to get people to figure out.
That's what that is.
No, beside that is the God particle.
Oh,
just
right.
That. Yeah, written in, and it's also in a window in A Beautiful Mind. It's written in a different code, and the God particle's in A Beautiful Mind in the window there as well. And he leads us tell people that was on a university window for years and years and years while they were studying it, facing backwards. And until they looked at it backwards, they didn't know what they were fucking, because they were studying the wrong way. People outside were getting it, and they weren't studying it. So there was a whole fucking different theory of what it was altogether. All that shit they knew before they made that movie. Yeah. That's crazy.
That's awesome.
Anyway, that's madness. That's little tidbits that. But yeah, them two, Dogma, walking around with trench coats. It kind of had a similarity about that. He was a bit taller, but he mentioned to me about. He brought me on a journey to the Garden of Gethsemane, the Garden of where the soldiers met Jesus. He brought me there. He brought me there to show me something.
Wow.
And he brought me there, and he stood me in a corner, a safe place, and he told me the story of how Jesus was not afraid of 500 soldiers with pointy swords and ready for battle coming at him to take him away. And he told me how calm he made his disciples, because the disciples were there. He was telling them not to worry, that whatever. Then another 32 people arrived, which are the lost apostles. They're all different versions of I suppose folklore in a way. They were there. And then him plus someone else was there, which made 50 people in total that were there at the garden. And that was for the 50 against 300 in a way. And all it was an experience. He kind of explained to me that out of all of this, there was 50 books made. And out of them 50 books, I gave you what you now know is the Bible. And the only reason I gave you that is because I didn't want to. The only reason it's structured like that is because you can only see 5% of what shit like that. All of that, and within I think it was within a space of about 2 hours, that I got it, and it didn't sort of transist into me for a couple of weeks. I kind of, I was getting bits of it, and I was studying stuff, and I didn't realize that I was studying it, and I didn't really sink into what he had said to me till I kind of, I don't know. I think it was during the middle of a show, and it just came to me. I was talking to Constantine. I think I might have been talking about the movie or something like that. And it came to me about, why he asked me to go there and tell me something. I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird one anyway. Weird one.
When I encounter entities like that, they're always sparkly. Well, the good ones are always. Jesus is sparkly.
Do you know what? Speaking of sparkly stuff, I did see that the only thing that I can imagine that was sparkly, and that was the tips of the spears the soldier had. That's the only thing I could see sparkle. That's weird.
Yeah,
You say
their whole
sparkly?
being is just made up of this
Yeah.
sparkling energy, but you could tell that it
Yeah,
was.
no, I didn't get. I didn't see him as sparkly, and I saw him as a. I think it was a more of a darker figure than it wasn't more light. You know, it wasn't like as we see today. It was more of a darker in a shadow version of it. So I thought I was
Okay.
lighter than it was, but actually he was lighter. It was like more of a negative than a positive. You know what I mean? It was a
Mm.
weird thing. Because
So
when I
what
was
is he a warrior?
no, apparently he's um
No, I know
how would you
Constantine was
say
a
how would you
king.
say how would you say
Constantine was a king.
no, I'm talking about the angel concept. I think
Oh,
he's
okay.
he's basically is he the Archangel Michael's brother, or is one of them dudes? But I think he's actually Lucifer's brother on a different version. He's kind of related in they're all related to each other anyway. Them, but I think he is um a gateway from angels, bad angels to good angels. So he's either neither.
Okay.
So he's kind of a halfway house, if you know what I mean. So he knows
Yeah.
everything and anything. He's neither good
Yeah.
nor bad. He's a product of his environment in a way. You know, if he
Yeah.
but he does everything for good. He won't go out on a mission for anything but good. He
Right.
knows everything about good and bad, but he won't do anything but good.
Right.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? So if you ask
Okay.
him what is bad, he will tell you what bad is.
I guess it might sound bad, but I'm just now starting to learn about angels and
Mm, mm.
who they are. I haven't really known about them that long. And well,
Yeah,
I've always heard about angels, but I mean the different angels
yeah,
and
I think
what they represent.
angels and what they represent. I never really studied what they represent and what kind of stuff. I just kind of went with what I was taught in a way. I don't know
Mhm.
why I was taught what I was taught, but I was taught it for a reason, and I have a pull to certain,
Yeah.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I always have a pull to them for some reason.
Yeah.
They are the four that
Yeah.
we were always taught about, and I think Constantine had something in my. I've had that as a child. I don't know because maybe it was due to watching horror movies when I was younger, and a lot of biblical ones like Exorcist, right? All stuff like that. I watched since the age of 4. All anything to do with Bible, supernatural possession and all that, whatever, all to do
Yeah.
with angels, arca. I would watch that all growing up, and weird stuff. So
Yeah.
there's
I
a
got
connection.
in trouble when I was 8 years old for lifting Tales of Poe from the library.
Wow. Yeah,
The
yeah.
book.
That's
Yeah.
that's that's uh that's
I'm
um
always into that stuff.
Edgar Allan Poe, isn't it? Edgar Allan Poe. What is it? Yeah,
Edgar Allan Poe,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. The Raven.
The Telltale Heart,
Yeah,
The Raven, Once Upon a
yeah,
Midnight Fury, as
yeah,
I
yeah,
pondered,
yeah.
weak and weary over many
There's
a
a great
claim.
movie about
It's
him. There's a
probably my
great movie
forgotten
about
heart.
him. There's a great movie that I watched about him, which has got I think it's one of the best ones I've seen about him.
I'd love to see that.
Who's it got again? Yeah, I think it's just called Poe. I think it's just called Poe.
Okay. I'll have to
Um,
look for it.
it's very good because it leaves it at the end where as we all kind of think what I'm not going to spoil the end, but it leaves the end of it is just what you believe the books to be all about.
Yeah.
It
The
comes to a
story
great
is he
it
died
comes
in
to
an
a great
alcoholic
inchendo.
stupor.
It's a great inchendo at the end of it. It's
Yeah.
it's brilliant. And the guy who plays it, I can't remember his fucking name. I'm racking my brain. He's a great actor, and he just takes it off so well. And it's just very good,
Cool.
very very good. I think it's just called Poe. P-O-E.
Okay. Now,
The Raven is
what I've understood is he died in an alcoholic stupor.
well. All right. Well, then I don't know. This one I think incorporates the Raven, the actual poem, the Raven,
Okay.
towards
Yay.
the end of the movie in a way where it sort of brings that into his life in a way where it's a weird
Yeah.
it's a weird kind of play, and I think he's almost looking into his own mind of what it is. So he's actually acting out parts of his book in his own in this movie.
Yeah.
Just looking at Poe. I can't remember the fucking guy's name.
I'll find it.
Yeah. It'll come to me. The guy is in the movie 2021, is it, or 2020? Is that the one where the disaster movie where all the flood comes all over the world? You know that one, 2021.
Yeah, I think so.
No,
it's been a long time, but
it's a really old movie. It's about a flood or whatever goes. He's in that. He's the man. He's the chauffeur driver in that. That guy. If you just look for his movies, I think it's called Paul. Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Okay.
John Cusack.
Okay. Yeah.
John Cusack. I knew it would come to me. I don't know. It's always there, but it's just going around the conveyor belt. Cusack.
Yeah, I bet he is a good Poe.
He is. He's very good. He's very good Poe. He was a very good serious actor. I saw a movie with him in it called Cell, right, which is about people who got possessed by his cell towers, right?
By a what?
By cell towers. By cell towers. So basically, the cell towers were taken over by an alien fucking signal, and anyone that looked into their phone were like a zombie, and all they do was walk around, just looking into their phone around and around in circles,
like everybody on Earth now.
Chanting around the big black box to bring in these demonic stuff from elsewhere, right? And it was all AI. So he's in that. It's called.
So that's what they're
doing.
That's
a good fucking movie, man. That's a good fucking movie.
That's what they're doing in Mecca, right?
Yeah, that's what they're doing. You know, they're bringing in the old
AI. Their phones.
They're just recharging their phones. They're recharging.
No, okay.
Are they maybe getting free Wi-Fi off it? Could be free Wi-Fi.
Could be.
If you had a statue like that and put free Wi-Fi, you'd have more people than that walking around it. It could be free Wi-Fi.
Yeah. I wonder if everybody has free Wi-Fi when God is around.
Do you know the statue of Tesla in wherever his statue is gives off free Wi-Fi for I think it's about 10 to 24, maybe even more. Wherever his statue is in the college he went to, it gives out free Wi-Fi off the statue. Isn't that crazy?
Nice.
Isn't that crazy?
Very nice.
So that just goes to show that any statue in the world, any bronze statue, could be used as a Wi-Fi transmitter for any.
And that Poe is the man.
And we wouldn't have them. We wouldn't have to pay for it. Who put a penny price on electricity? You know, who said this charge of electricity that we can do like this and make like this or do whatever, we can make it ourselves anyway? Who said I'm going to put a penny per wattage on that? And who said no? That them people should be ashamed.
What about water? Fucking water.
I just got a bill today for 663 quid for water. That, you know what?
Wow.
My bathroom was being leaking for 3 years, right? I've told them that my bathroom was being leaking for 3 years. Now, I finally got it fixed there about a week ago. There's an outside tank that's been gushing water for the last 6 months. That even if I haven't seen water come out of a hose, a fireman's hose, as much. And that all goes into the building's, quota per annum of how much they're going to charge the water. We told them about that, and now they give me a bill for 666 quid. You know what? You might get 50p a week off me if you bring it to court. So go for it. I don't care. I'm not paying for the water. In the Constitution, they cannot cut us off water, and I did not sign any contract with no water company that I want to pay you for my water. In the Constitution, I am legally right to get water from whatever, whoever owns this country has to provide us with water. That's one of the.
Who pays attention to the Constitution anymore?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, it's in the Constitution. Yeah, it's in the Irish Constitution. I don't know if it's in the English Constitution, but it should be.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't really drink that much. I drink maybe 2 cups of coffee. I don't drink faucet water. You know, I don't drink water from the
I don't either.
tap. I take a shower, and that's about all the water I do. I brush my teeth, whatever. Yeah. So bottled water and stuff like that. A lot of us are going to that. Let me ask you a question there. Did you transcend to unbottled, or were you always been on not tap water? Were you aware of the dulling of the mind of eating the big pharma food? Let's call it big pharma food. You know, the water from the tap that's all fluoride or chlorine or whatever.
Yeah, it's been I can't even remember. It's been so long ago.
It's been so long.
I was very lucky. I was I was raised in the country, and we had well water, and we had
Oh,
good
okay,
water,
okay. And
good water. And when I went to the city, yuck!
wow, yeah, you could change. You can.
It
I
smells
noticed
like
that
a
as well.
swimming pool. It does. It smells like a public swimming pool.
Yeah, changing places like from going from one town to another, or one vicinity, the
Mhm.
water changes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But you said you're a vegetarian, is that right?
Yeah,
Have you been a
mostly.
vegetarian
I eat some
all
chicken every once in a while.
sure, you wouldn't mind no chicken every now and again.
Mm.
So have you been a vegetarian all your life?
No.
Just okay. And did you stop drinking faucet water and all that kind of stuff around the same time you became a vegetarian? Were you aware of it all at one time? You know, all
No,
that kind of
no, the
no.
water thing has been a lot longer. The water thing
Oh
has
wow,
been most of my life. Yeah.
nice. Okay, nice. Yeah, it does make a difference, guys. It does make a difference. If it, yeah, just don't. Yeah. I would don't say don't drink any liquids. Drink other liquids, of course, but just be sure of. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
drinking too much faucet water. You wouldn't know what you're thinking. Yeah,
I drink too much
upstairs could be
coffee
good.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
coffee's good. Coffee's good.
Gotta
Coffee's
have
good.
my coffee.
Yeah, I've limited myself to not having coffee after 10 p.m. I'll have a drink of milk now, a glass of milk rather than having a cup of coffee with a movie. I'll have a glass of milk or whatever, and I'll try to go to sleep at whatever. And not falling asleep at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. Sometimes I'm still up till 6 a.m. And yeah, them sleep patterns don't be right when you're I don't know thinking too much. Thinking too much. Do you find that when you go to bed, your mind starts straight away, taking your head into
Well,
the
now that I have my own place and I'm in charge of anything, I can just lay down and go to sleep whenever I want. And I never go in there until I'm about to fall over anyway.
yes.
So I don't have any trouble getting to sleep. But I spend all the rest of my time basically mind fucking myself. You know. So,
Good way of putting it. That's a good way of putting it. Mind fucking myself. So every waking hour, you're mind fucking yourself, and then you just go to sleep when you start.
quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I find sometimes though, even at that, when you you're just a bit of shit off. When I go to bed, I put my head in the pillow and I start again. And sometimes you can use that energy, that creativity, and get up and do something. Or sometimes you can just sort of sleep
Yeah,
on it. And,
that's transmuting. It's like what I was talking about, pain. Emotional, physical, whatever kind of pain. Transmuting that. Going, okay, this hurts. This sucks. I think
mm,
I'm going to go mow the yard.
mm,
You
mm,
know, and that's the best way to transmute power. I think
yeah,
I'm going to go and enjoy the afternoon with my sister.
yeah, yeah,
Whatever. You transmute it.
yeah. Of course.
Transmute whatever comes up. I'm going to take this thing that I'm feeling and I'm going to change it by changing the direction I'm going right now.
Hmm.
Right now, I'm going to change it.
Yeah,
And by doing that, and I've been doing that a long time, I don't wallow as much. I don't, when really, really bad things happen, yeah, it upsets me and it messes me up, but not the way it used to.
yeah. I get you.
Not the way it used to, because I've worked so hard in getting rid of all the other baggage that can be triggered when something bad happens.
Mm.
But yeah, just transmute it. Transmute it. This has really upset me. This would be a really good time to clean the kitchen.
Yeah. Scrub the floors, scrub the walls,
Right,
scrub
stuff
the roof.
like that.
Yeah.
Stuff like
Wash
that
the
instead
windows.
of wallowing in it. Instead of
Yeah,
wallowing.
yeah.
Because I can paralyze myself.
Mm.
Just paralyze myself. I can't do shit but sit and stare at the wall and think stupid shit, you know?
Yeah, I get that too. Sometimes staring at, yeah, you can walk around the place. Because I have so many books and all that, I should fucking own them. I end up
Yeah.
going to the kitchen, forget why I'm going to the kitchen, and picked up something on the way to the kitchen, and be halfway through looking at that, going, "Why am I in the kitchen?" Then come in back in and sit down, and that kind of is and then forget why, and then I'm in the kitchen 5 times just to get one thing,
Yeah,
and
me too.
it's a weird thing, and you can I found myself doing hours of that, right?
Yeah.
In a way where I realized that in that hour, if I can get myself into that state doing that, I can use that hour to you do spells to cast as many good energy spells as I want because I know I'm in a higher level of whatever I'm doing. And sometimes I like to take over, but yeah, it can take over at the weird times, though. Like sleep eating, and you start eating, and you don't realize you've eaten 2 packs of sweets, and you know. I make a song, and I get lost in it, and I realize that there's lost time, but it's on a musical journey somewhere else to wherever it is, and
music does that to me. Yeah,
music does. It brings so many levels to the vibration of music, the uplifting, the intent of all of it, all of the music is to bring you to a higher level. So I can get lost in that very, very easy. When that's what I mean when I go to bed. If I think of a tune, I'll get up and want to do it. Very hard to stay and go. No, just stay asleep. Just fucking stay asleep. You hear a train go by.
I have trouble listening to music. I have trouble being still when I listen to music. I'm a champion chair dancer.
Champion chair dancer. I like it.
But yeah.
We can integrate that with tassels later on. We could do this.
It would work. It would work well.
It would work.
Yeah, but not. It wouldn't work so well for doing a butt wiggle.
No, maybe not.
But the tassels would work, and I have a rolling chair. So.
Yeah, exactly. Rolling tassels. We call it rolling tassels. There you go. Anyway, let's not go there again.
So how's your phone doing? Are we about off of here?
Do you know what? I give it another 10 minutes. We're at 3 hours, right? So we'll finish it. Okay. We'll finish at 3:15, or try 3:6. We try 3:16. Is that a number that's a 3:16 is a biblical number?
I don't know if I can keep that close to track. I need to buy a clock.
I'll keep an eye on it. So let me ask you. I suppose let's get deep for the last bit. Let me ask you some really quick. Just pop into my head questions, right? One of these ones. A magical journey through the many minds of Alan. You want to say that, Alan? No, I fucking don't. You so he's out. So let me see if I can think of a deep one. Is there, if you were to meet, say, your idol? I don't know who your idol is. Who is your idol? Who would have been someone you were, aspired to be when you were growing up? I know they change over the years and stuff like this. Is there anyone outstanding in your mind? Yeah, they when I was younger, I wanted to be something like that, and they're still going. Is there anyone like that?
Yeah, my dad. My dad died when I was 14. Okay. Man, I'd love to ask him some questions. Number one, what happened at Roswell?
That's okay. Would that be your first question then? Okay,
no, I doubt it would be my first question.
Okay. Well, 3 questions to ask someone like that. Who would it be? Even if anyone's listening, if you want to put into the chat, guys, who would that person be, and what would them 3 questions be? What would you ask in a way? I off the top of my head, it'd be God. It'd be like, who made you? Can I meet them? And then I'd ask them, who made you? And that'd be my 3 questions gone. So, that'd lead me to the next whatever. So that's probably thinking a bit too far ahead, but that's 3 questions. Anyone in the physical world? I suppose it would have to be a tech joint.
A what?
A tech joint, a technical joint. So someone in the tech world, someone who I don't want to say Elon Musk. I wouldn't ask him questions because he's a program, right? Yeah. I'd like, if I could meet the real Elon Musk, the one that we're not presented with, the one that could let go and sit down and have a joint with. If you could ask him some three questions, but you need to study him a little bit to know how to ask him questions. Yeah. Do you
think he's for real, or is he just an actor?
He is just an actor.
I think so too.
I think he's an actor who has mental health problems and is as nearly as unpredictable as Trump was. I think he nearly is. Yeah. But if you believe Trump was unpredictable, he's as unpredictable as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he's in it for the money and the technology and the advancement of himself rather than the advancement of the human race. Putting himself into a computer and living forever. He's done that he done that about 50 years ago. All we're seeing now is a simulation of what he wanted to see. I think, in a way.
I don't want to stay here forever, do you?
Well, I think we do anyway. Parts of us do.
You want to stay forever?
I want to see the big show, yeah. And I don't want to see the show after that. And I just want to continue. I'm one of them guys who'll stay in the cinema all day long. Like,
I think I'd like to watch it from outside.
I think I did watch it from outside so many times, and I think after being in so many times, I think I know how to fix it. If I stay in and keep doing it and tweaking it so many different times, it has to eventually, crumble to the way I want it to crumble to. So
yeah, share what you learn, so maybe other people can catch on too.
Yeah, it's like each sleeve, rave, repeat. Each sleeve, rave, repeat. Just keep coming back, and the people who will hear it will hear it. The only people who want to hear it will hear it the time they want to hear it. If you keep saying and saying, it's like a never-ending fucking radio station. 24-hour radio station, a beaker of light that, no matter where you are, just fucking come and talk. I can fucking talk. It's 42-hour show. I've got the highest live show that I think anyone of the true community has ever done, the 42-hour show. And that wasn't a proof to anything. That was me finding myself.
I remember.
And because of that, I have now a thing where I want to just do that on a level where, I felt that before. I want that feeling again, if you know what I mean. I wanted that, that spiritual awakening. But I also want to tap into what I was then, them great shows, them buzzing people, a sense of community where, if there's a break between, I don't want to drop any names, Brian Staley, Brian McFarlane, whoever's doing the trip, Karen B or whatever, just come over here, have a bit of a vibe, come on, have a chat to me, what you even thought about their show. An in-between kind of show kind of place. I wanted to do that, and I thought that was great, but
yeah,
you get busy with
life. I love interacting with the chat. I love it.
It's great. It's great when there's so many people in here and you're asking people questions and they're telling you little bits and the thing about in the chat, you have to feed them, elaborate on all your little stories in a way that you don't when you're talking in a one-to-one situation. Yeah. You're saying different versions of it and you're typing it down. My typing is different than me speaking it. I don't type. Oh yeah, this is what I do. Blah, blah, blah. I don't type it. I just go really straight to the fact, or arse backways in a way. I always try to have fun with it.
Texting is more impersonal.
It's yes. But trying to put a long version of what you think of something in so many words. Yeah, like as Captain was saying, he's only got so many he had to put two in two there, trying to say what you want to say in like 60 words or less is a hard thing to do, but so you can get cross wires and chats, but that also leads to drama, which also leads to a bit of fun as well, which we all love a bit of drama, so it's all very addictive. It's all designed to be so addictive that we all want to go back. So why would they break the machine?
Yeah.
Why would they break what they've made? Only to prove a point that, I can disconnect you from anyone else if I want to, but you have to put it back on, There's always going to be the dark web,
Yeah.
There's always going to be pigeons. Or you've got two falcons outside there now. You can send them off with messages attached to their Just train them. They used to do them back in the day, send crows and ravens to people.
Yeah.
So, we can survive. We will survive. So 3 questions. What would you ask and who would you ask? Apart from your father.
Well, I think I already told you, meeting God, all I want is a high five and a good job.
Nice. I like that.
I would like to talk to Poe.
Oh, yes. Okay. What would you ask?
I would just want to know about his life. I want to know the truth about his life. Tell me your story. I want to hear it from him. I want to hear about that from a lot of people from history. I want to know the real story. I'm a real truther. I want to know the real truth. I want to know the real truth about everything.
Would you want to ask Jesus questions? It's a hard one, isn't it?
I'm not. I've encountered in Jesus, and in the encounters, it's not about conversation. It's about feeling. It's
Feeling, okay.
about and visions
Vision, okay.
and warmth. And so it's hard for me it's hard for me to think about questions I would ask
Absolutely.
because it meant so much just that I saw and I felt.
Okay. Okay.
Does that make any
Yeah,
sense?
no, it does make sense.
It was everything that I saw it and I felt it.
Right, I get you. I
And I didn't think of any questions at all except for am I good enough for you to be here? Am I really good enough for you to be in my presence? Right?
then you realize that the reason why he's in your presence is because you're good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole
It took me a while.
yeah, I know, and yeah, it's overwhelming in times. I know that the only reason he is there is because you are worthy of his presence, and you just doubt that, and
I'm sorry, I just really can't think of questions. It's all about the feeling and the energy for me.
yeah, going back to that feeling, have you ever come across people where you felt just a brief encounter, you feel the presence of Jesus or someone spiritual, just in a brief encounter where you've asked them for time, have you got time there, please, or
Yeah.
and yeah, they have that one thought, and there's something that you had to ask them that question at that time. Like me meeting Constantine that time, I had to shout at him and ask him what time is it, him to go, yeah, Mark, it's this time, and then can ask him another question. Subconsciously, them kind of feelings, is that you get them
Yes.
when you're
Yes. It's like people who will stop and like you ask for, if they have the time, they stop, but then you have this, then you have this moment of eye contact, or there's just a feeling that you have that makes you smile and feel good.
Yeah, feel good. Yeah. And they're only there for a brief encounter or whatever, and then or for one moment of time, and
and that person might have lifted your energy just a little.
Yeah, of course, and they're all over the place. They're everywhere, Right?
And there's people that'll take you right down to the other way too.
Of course. People will test you every day. People will test you every day. Coming into the solitude.
So you smile at them and think I love you, and then you go on your way.
Yeah. I was saying there when you were off there that I used to give give people like 3 chances, like summarize my good intentions 3 times, and then if these are still negative, move on. But I used to use it in a sales techniques. I would say what good product I was giving them, and then if they would say, but I don't know, then but hold on, let me figure that out. But also we could summarize 3 times. We can't get them onto the same, oh, that's kind of good. Well, not giving you enough with my energy. All right, see you later, bye bye. But every positive, every negative person is close to a positive person.
Yeah.
That kind of attitude served me well in life. And I didn't think of it till I'm ashamed to say till I got into sales at a whatever age that every no is closer to a yes. So every person that has a negative attitude is your pathway to that person who has that golden bit of light for you, or that whatever it is, whether you want to call it money, whether you want to call it spiritual awakening, whether you want to call it one sentence, whether you want to call it a smile, that look you were just talking about, that glance when it says what time it is. Everyone has that one bit that they can give to someone at a certain time.
Exactly. Exactly. That's how you start. That's how we start. That's how we start. We look at each other. We say hello to each other. We start noticing that we're there. We start feeling like we can actually go to the neighbor and borrow a cup of sugar again. You know what I mean?
Yes, of course.
Because we don't feel that way now. We don't even know each other's names.
No.
I lived in a place 10 years and never learned learned one neighbor's name.
Wow.
One neighbor. And we never talked really. I just knew her name. So moving to this tiny town I moved to, though, is different than it is in the city. And people are friendlier, and they stop and they say hello, and they open the door for you when you're coming in, and just stuff like that doesn't happen in the big city. And that's helping me. That's helping me a lot too. is
I had I
just
had the
feeling
opposite.
the warmth from people.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. You were saying that about Halloween as well, feeling the warmth and just where you are, the sense of
Yeah,
being
just by being there, just by
yeah,
being there. Yeah,
it's not only raise your vibration, it's raise your vibration in place as well, you know.
yeah.
So you know,
Well, I go, I go out there and when I want to, actually, because I don't always want people to come and talk to me,
of course,
but
yeah, yeah.
but I go out there and I make a special attempt to open my energy, and when I do that, somebody always comes out and talks to me
Nice,
every time.
nice. I went from the opposite. I went from a small town to a big city, and I found, from knowing everyone's business and not knowing anyone's business was good, but I also felt that,
There are
I was, al-
advantages to
I was,
both.
I
Yeah,
was afraid to talk to people because you have this stigma, people are busy and all that. But here's the thing: if you stop and ask people to talk to you, talk to you. It's just we're
yeah,
afraid to talk to people because they look too busy, you know. And I'm just open, and as you can see, I'm a bit of another. So I've grown easy to just talk to random strangers about random stuff, and mostly it always leads to a Mandela effect or some sort of, belief system in a way.
yeah.
Do
You
you
meet
see
your
the
energy. You meet people who meet your energy.
Yeah, and I used to find that I used to meet a lot of great people when I was doing Mandela effect residue searching, because I
Yeah.
was on a higher level in a way that I was just, what I used to do if I ever felt that I was just feeling a little bit down, whistle when I'm walking,
Oh yeah.
and maybe, I don't know, this is a humiliating, but it does work. Skip, skip for about 10 feet, stop, and then start skipping again. You remember when you were a kid, you were skipping, skip and whistle. That will get you upbeat I guarantee within 5 minutes. If you can do that for 10 steps, stop, 10 steps, stop, skip and whistle. Within that 5 minutes, you will be in a higher level of great mood. I'm telling you, it works all
Yeah.
the time.
I like to grab my phone and put my headphones on and dance around the block. I
Yeah,
just
there you
dance.
go. It's yeah. So dance like no one's watching you. Them kind of them kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It
I do it a
works.
lot. I do it a lot at night.
Okay. So that do you? Oh,
I've done it in the daytime once or twice, but I get kind of paranoid.
so that's the mad woman I've been reading about. That's dancing around at night time around this box of flowers. I'm joking,
Yes,
but
it is.
that's
It's
she.
me.
Okay, great.
It's
Okay,
me.
coming to a TV near you soon. Wait, oh, great. Dance lessons with I Am Magic. Around how to dance.
I am magic, and so are you.
Yeah. There you go. You could do dance aerobics. You could do dance aerobics outside with the girls.
Yeah,
You
but I'd
know,
have to take
and
my
the boys.
chair.
You just take your chair,
Dance
just
on my
tell them
chair. And,
exactly. Do your swivel chair with your tassels on.
yes,
See how many
and
of the girls that put tassels on? You could do a group of tassel women.
yeah.
You
Oh, and
wouldn't see the
I have
tassels.
I have a helmet too. I could wear.
There you go. There
I
you go.
do.
Health and safety. I was thinking health and safety. Hasn't the world gone mad? When health and safety came in, the world went crazy. When they invented health and safety, they did not invent only health and safety for the building sites. They invented health and safety for the world. And they
Yeah.
said, the ozone layer is gone. They said this is gone, and we have to protect the environment and all of this and blah de blah de blah de blah de blah blah blah. They didn't tell you that
Yeah.
if we believe in dinosaurs, that them beasts that were fucking multi-million of them were bigger, more fucking consuming than we were ever on wildlife, on anything, because we don't, as a carnivorous whatever, we don't eat as much as they did. If you believe that there was as many of them as there was us, and they were massive.
Mhm.
So we are not consuming food as it was back then, and so the food is not running out, the energy is not going. They're just hiding it elsewhere. That's all they figured out how to hide it and keep it away from you to want to make you think we're losing. No, you know. So it
Yeah.
doesn't make so. If you believe a T Rex, right? Now, a T Rex could eat 5 cows at one mouthful. Yeah. How many
Mhm.
people did it take to eat one? How many T Rexes? There must have been millions of the fucking things. You know. So just judging on, that's one of the smaller ones of the the carnivores. They're all eating fucking all sorts of shit. So all of that, yeah. How could it be, losing everything? Fossil fuel. Okay, we only started burning fossil fuel, but I think that's all it jinx as well, because all of the fossil fuel, they haven't used it. They've turned it into elements, and all we're using is their version of synthetic fossil fuel. I think, in a way,
Yeah.
their version that they've made in the lab, and they can make it out of fucking nothing. They could take
Yeah.
one lump of coal and make a mountain of coal out of it if they wish to. But
Yeah.
they don't want to do that.
Well, it's like you were talking about electricity too.
Mhm.
Energy never dies.
No, it
There's
doesn't.
no beginning or end to energy. So, what I heard a theory that they recycle the electricity. It comes into our homes and it goes back out, but they keep charging us for it.
Oh, of course, we're getting charged for the same electricity. Everything that we generate in our homes goes back through a fucking alternator that powers other things. We're getting like next door neighbor's probably getting my electricity to a box that creates it, just back engineers it. Everything is recycled. A whole lot of it's recycled. It's one big system. So it makes you think that they just put enough in here to keep this big system going and to keeping the big, more powerful stuff for themselves in another system that they use. Like you see the Illuminati pressing the button and a hole in a fucking cave opens, they have a road going.
No.
In The Simpsons, all that kind of shit. Does
Yeah.
that stuff exist? If so, I want some. If so, I want.
Right.
I want that button to go through the mountain, to walk through that shit.
Me
See
too.
what it is. And here's the thing. I think with any of us, if we ever saw that, we'd come back and tell everyone else. So I don't think we're going to get to see it really quick. We have to break in. We have to break in other ways and go, hold on there. I just do this secret code that I don't know what I'm doing. It opens some door. And stop saying Shazam. Stop saying Shazam. Something silly, So like, by mistake, you're going to say the magic word and someone's going to pay attention and go, shit, man, he knows the fucking secret. Like Bill Hicks's great joke. One night, this man on LSD figured out that the world is all made of energy. You know that great skill? It's all made of energy, and we are all slowed down to a small, slow vibration, and we are stuck here in this realm. We should be vibrating. This man on LSD had taken 3 LSD tablets. He got so close to the realization of what world is we had to go down into. It's all that. Bill Hicks man knew what it was. It was weird. It was
Love Bill Hicks.
Then he goes into the, life is like a roller coaster ride and all that kind of stuff. You have to live it and all that. That one. That I think he was so close to when you are on LSD, you kind of figure it out, but you forget because you have to come back to a human existence, and you can't contemplate what it is in a way, but you can say it when you're on LSD.
I did a lot of acid. Of acid, and
absolutely. That's it.
Actually, I can't remember learning anything important. I remember a lot of cool things happening, but I don't think maybe, and I just don't remember.
Yeah.
But I had some really interesting experiences, but I can't remember anything that profound, that figuring out. I mean, I know about energy.
I think with some of the trips though, a lot of trips combined make one bit of sense, if you know what I mean. If you could take one bit from one bit. So one trip you didn't get one before. Oh yes, I know what my inner self. Like 5 or 6 trips it might take to realize one part of it. I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've thought about ayahuasca.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I'd be brave enough to do it. But
what about DMT? That's
DMT is natural. So our bodies make DMT. So yeah, I might feel better about doing DMT. I'm sorry.
Yeah, DMT. Do you know what I heard? Do you know Fly-Garic mushrooms? You know Fly-Garic mushrooms? The ones that are in Alice in Wonderland, the ones with the red ones with the white spots.
That's the ones that grow under cow poo. Yeah.
Them ones. No, they're magic mushrooms. I'm on about the red ones. They're
psilocybin.
Yeah. So them ones, if you prepare them properly, apparently that you can get a 24-hour DMT trip off. That's what I heard. So that's a full-on Alice in Wonderland trip for 24 hours on Fly-Garic mushrooms, they're called, and they're written on, but they had to be prepared properly, and I don't know what the dosage are.
The only way I ever did them, they were either they were dried, Some of them were powdered, some of them weren't.
Oh, okay. I done magic mushrooms for geez, I don't know, so many years because it was like a season, it's season of magic mushrooms. So we had to go take mushrooms for forever long they started to grow till they were gone.
Yeah, terrariums, we would throw the spores in and keep them in the closet. Grow mushrooms in the closet. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to freeze them every now and again. We'd have, someone would always have 1,000 mushrooms frozen in the back of the fridge somewhere, for all year round. They'd be giving out 200 every now and again. There's always someone, you'd always find someone that, and they would.
Yeah, it's just too easy to grow them. Just need a dark place and some spores. So.
We just go out the fields out the back and take
that's what we did.
Yeah. And the only thing is though, it's very dangerous going out picking with loads of people because we never just pick and put them in the bag. Pick one, eat one. Pick two, eat two. One for you, one for you, bag 3 for me, 3 for me, 1 for you. Where we are. Oh no, where we are. What country am I in? What am I looking for? Oh no, I realize now I'm in a shop stealing stuff. 1 for you, 6 for me because I'm tripping balls. I'm getting chased down the street because I think I'm actually down the street picking fucking, I don't know, God knows, apples in an orchard thinking, it can go anywhere. It's very dangerous,
Yeah.
So be wary when you're picking and eating at the same time. You've got good surroundings and you can't go off into a motorway and get run down by a car. Make sure you've got good surroundings.
Soon you can just dance around the pasture, flinging flowers and loving God, right?
Yes, close the gate behind you. They do say close the gate when you come into the field. Close the gate behind you. If you close the gate behind you, you should be okay. If you trip on that field, you can't get out. It's like approaching the Iron Giant. When you're in mid-trip and you come up to a steel gate, you think it's like a big, you're not getting past me. You're like, yes, come on, I'll fight you. You stand fighting the gate for 5 hours. Some stupid things like that.
Yeah, well, I was like, okay, the kids are gone for the weekend, and I have 5 hits of window pane. You guys lock me in, and then I would just be happy all weekend long.
Yeah, we used to go to my friend's house when his parents ago. People lived with his parents at the time. I was living on my own, but just to be somewhere else because we were always tripping away out. So we go to his house, but it was like, plastic on the sofa type of thing. Don't ruin anything. And we would severely get fucking mashed up to the extent where, I don't know, we were talking to walls and wallpaper and lamps and everything. Be lost in it. It was a kind of a weird house. It was all over the place. His parents were kind of hippie-ish. They had a bedroom up in the loft, so I went downstairs just kind of for all the kids and stuff like that. He had 2 brother and a sister, a younger brother and a sister, And it was a weird house, so you'd have the guys in the kitchen tripping, talking to a kettle, and then the other guy is in there stuck to the TV, and I'm on the sofa. I remember one night I was getting sick and I puked down my arm because I didn't want to get mushrooms all over the sofa, so I puked all the mushrooms down my arm. I just left them there and ate more mushrooms. Woke up the next day with all mushrooms stuck inside. I don't think they got the time to smell of sick. They I just got too many into me and they came out kind of raw and I was like a little bit of I didn't want to get it all over his sofa. But then I think what we done was we got the guy that owned the house and we ended up putting him into his mother's wardrobe and holding him into the wardrobe. And the only way he could get it, I think he freaked out so much he ended up breaking the whole wardrobe and fucking forced the air out of it and fucking freaking out. And then I thought, I got into a mad one. I thought, I think my cousin's parents, which is my auntie, rang asking my cousin, was he okay? And all, are you coming home? And he said, he kind of went, no, I'm good. He called me. He said it okay, but then he hung up the phone, and I didn't hear him hang on the phone. Then he started calling his mother and all these names, and his father going, oh, you never know we're out here on mushrooms and all. I thought he was still on the phone. So I freaked out, thinking, shit, my auntie's going to come out now with my man all. I'm going to beat the shit out of me for getting you off your head on mushrooms, me off your head on mushrooms. We're all in the head on mushrooms. They're fucking wardrobes and bits. The other guys in the back licking the fucking tap. The other guy's licking the wallpaper. What am I going to say, So I decided to say, right, guys, I'm going to kill us all. Fuck it, I'm going to kill us all. We're all going to die. I'm going to start with you. and then I'm gonna get my way through you all, and because I don't want to, and then I'll kill myself just before they arrive, right? Or I can kill them when they arrive. Which would you prefer? Because I'm not getting in trouble, guys. I am not getting in trouble, and it worked out that we were all good, man. dangerous mushrooms. Dangerous.
Dangerous. They are dangerous. They are very dangerous. I need another break, darling.
I'm gonna call it a night, sweetheart, because
okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I need to go and get something to eat. I need to get some bacon sandwiches. But let's do this again. Let's say next week, because I'm not too sure the times or the internet situation. But let's schedule another one for next week via email. Okay. This has been great.
Yeah, this is fun. I really like this.
It's always great with Magic Sister. I am Magic. It's always great with having you here because we talk about so many different subjects and we never touch on the negative parts. We're never negative. There's nothing negative about these shows. No one can come here and say, "Oh, that's a fucking downer of a show." We've said nothing negative, and anything that anyone has a negative to say, we try to switch it around. We'll just take a grain of salt with a grain. Try to take a,
transmutation.
Silver lining in it. See something good in it. Try to see something good in everything bad, because there is too much bad in this world to think it all too severe, too serious.
Every negative can be turned to a positive. Yes. Everyone.
Yes, absolutely.
Everyone.
Absolutely.
Have a wonderful week, darling.
You too, sweetheart. You too, and I really appreciate it. And we'll talk again soon enough. And I really look forward to it.
Me too.
I'm gonna say goodbye to them first, and then we'll have a chat off the line. So goodbye, everyone. Show is ended. Go in peace. Namaste. Yoga is over. And all that stuff. So go in peace, and I'll see you all soon. We're ending, and we're going to have an old chat there, an old cup of tea, and a natter behind the scenes.
There we go.
Bye bye. See you later, guys.